good morning. How are y'all doing today? Happy Sunday, happy time zones. Hope everyone's having a good day so far. I had a little bit of a rough morning, but it's good. We're here. I can play more Sigh of the Abyss. That's all I really need in life. You know, games. I was going to say games can't betray you, but they totally can. But it's okay. It's a sweet kind of betrayal. Anyway, let us continue. I'm gonna be honest, I don't fully remember where we left off, which is kind of bad, which is also part of the reason why I was just like, yeah, we're gonna just do a whole week of Sigh of the Abyss. I don't know if we'll finish a game in a single week. Like I said, this is a little longer dating sim game, so maybe we'll just do it full time until we finish it, just because I don't want to keep like stopping. Like playing this only for a couple hours once a week is rough. So we're gonna continue, and hopefully I remember where we left off, and hopefully someone else remembers too. So let us continue. So Marinee goes, "What a foul smell." "Welcome to the harbor," responds Silas. Marinee's nose wrinkles as she uselessly fans her face. The docks swell with people. Some play dice while waiting around, others repair nets or gut fish, but the vast majority form a swarm that hides most of a large vessel from sight. "What's going on there?" asks Silas. A foreign flag flies at half-mast. "That Thean ship is..." Cries in a language you don't understand announce a resounding splash. Wooden creaks and the dragging of chains form a disastrous cacophony. The mast, the only part of the vessel you can see clearly, is swaying wildly. "It's falling apart." Silas finishes the sentence. "Observe the sinking ship or walk somewhere else." Damn, we don't give a fuck about a sinking ship. We'll observe it. The shadows painted by the crowd over the docks reach out for you. You might not understand Thean, but you do understand them. Curiosity and a strange sense of vindication is what unites most of the people spectating the sinking. "Why is nobody offering them assistance?" asks Leatrice. "Well, they're Theans," responds Silas. "As if that justifies watching the vessel sink without lifting a finger," goes Marinee. "I'm not saying it does. Want me to ask around about what the deal is with the ship?" asks Silas. She doesn't even wait for a confirmation and disappears into the crowd. "People who are not in danger, couldn't you help Marinee?" Marinee already got in trouble for helping people. We don't want her to get in more trouble, so. "The fools forced to save goods before themselves are," says Marinee. Her nostrils flare. "And there's nothing I can do." Silas runs back to you. "Well, that was weird. I tried to ask around what happened, but they gave me some bogus answer about angry sirens." "How quaint," goes Marinee. A small band of sailors runs over to the sinking ship and you make way for them. "Did you not say you wanted to return the stolen jewelry?" asks Marinee. "We need to take the ferry then." Silas takes the lead and guides you past crates and barrels, tattered nets, and broken hooks. Two familiar faces are waiting by the post that marks where the ferry is moored. The Vani heir, Sir Valerico, and his, seneschal. "I was not expecting him to come out here," says Silas. Servant spots you first and gestures for you to come closer. "I hope you are here to keep your word," says Valerico. "Of course I am," responds Leatrice. You take the brooch from a hidden pocket and offer it to Sir Vani. He cradles the piece of jewelry in his hands with tenderness. "I don't imagine you changed your mind and would tell me where to find the heir of House Castledon. Would Anelia be receptive to the noble's pleas?" We're definitely not going to let him intimidate her. "Do you believe I would use intimidation of all things to convince her?" says Valerico. "I don't fucking know you, bro." "I don't care. I won't tell you." "What could you possibly gain from denying me so?" asks Valerico. The servant spits on the ground. "Mind your manners, you," says Silas. The noble stomps to the side, followed by his sycophant. "Where's the miss?" asks Silas. "Forgive me for not associating with you this one time. I have a reputation to uphold," says Marinee. Damn! Okay. Marinette's like, not my fucking business. You didn't miss much. So, where to? Asked Marinette. The voice should guide you like it spoke to you after seeing Silas's morphed shadows, but it is silent as you roam the dockyard. Occasionally something at the end of your visions grabs your attention. There are several people whose shadows dance instead of mirroring their movements. You observe them from afar, but nothing else seems amiss. Are the whispers not supposed to tell you what to do? Where is the guidance now that you need it? What did you need from here again? Asked Silas. I don't know, responds Leatrice. If we are to come back, I will prepare perfumed scarves, says Marinette. You hate the smell that much? Asked Silas. Your search is fruitless, for now. You decide to celebrate Marinette's return with a visit to the Rose. You're paying, right, miss? Asks Silas. Someone will have to, responds Marinette. And that someone is you, right? Marinette relents with an eye roll. The Rose is a familiar sight by now. In the corner, Alpheon is lounging on a sofa with his lute. The notes of his song and the voices merge together in the back of your head, pleasant and buzzing. You hang your cloak and throw a glance at the mezzanine, blissfully empty. Time for the assorted roast, says Silas. Silas marches towards the counter with purpose, leaving you alone with Marinette. Do you think she'll ever care about anything more pressing than her dinner? She does not hide her contempt. So our options are, I'm sure she will. No, and that's all right. No, unfortunately. I say no, and that's all right. I need someone like her in my life. Someone that reminds me. That reminds you of what mortals want and need. That reminds you when it's time to eat? Asked Marinette. I'm honestly surprised you managed to appease a soul despite Silas's constant harping about the most banal and mundane things. Without her help, I could not have managed. Don't say that. Don't say anything. She does have her uses, says Marinette. What a cynical way to look at people, says Leatrice. If Silas were an honest woman, I would have no qualms about her, but she is not. Liars, thieves, and swindlers make for poor company. Silas returns right in that moment, but her eager smile quickly clouds when she sees Marinette's frown. I thought we were here to celebrate, says Silas. You thought correctly, responds Marinette. Then why does it look like you just ate a lemon? Marinette forces a smile on her face, but it's more threatening than anything. Better. She is the first to head to the mezzanine, and after exchanging a glance with Silas, you follow her. From your vantage point, you have a full view of the stained glass windows that give the Rose its name. The forced smile on Marinette's face has turned into a frown. One Silas's meeting with silence instead of a barb. You have the fleeting feeling that the celebration will be a repeat of the very first dinner you spent at the Rose with Marinette and Silas. It's up to you to salvage it. Oh, God. Okay. Options are, I'm so glad we're back here all together. Could I ask a favor of you two? Why do you dislike each other so much? Do you two remember our very first visit to the Rose? I'm curious of where this favor is going. So let's ask for a favor. Could I ask for a favor of you two? Asked Leatrice. Could you make an attempt to tolerate each other for an evening? That's exactly what I'm trying to do, responds Marinette. Same here, goes Silas. Really? Alpheon's song comes to an end, and the patrons below you clap politely and ask for encores. We're gonna... You know what? Let's wave to him. You catch his attention, and he waves back. A thought that doesn't belong to you gently slides into your mind. Things feel rather tense there. Oh my god, can we talk to each other, like, psychically? You didn't think that yourself. Alpheon spoke to you mind to mind. Handy, huh? Ask him to join us. He stands up and bows to the audience. Thank you, thank you. You're all wonderful. I trust you'll still be here when I'm back. He heads for the door concealed next to the counter. When he returns, his jacket and lute are gone. The stairs creak, announcing his grand entrance. Why, hello there. What do you want? Asked Silas. God damn, can no one like each other? Oh, you know, I have been playing for hours. I just saw my dear friend Leatrice and thought, why not take a break to have a chat? Seals looks at you for confirmation before letting him scoot over next to you. He's a sight for sore eyes, shaped after perfection like he is, between the plunging neckline of his shirt, his strong jawline, and his I can't read this sentence, oh my god. Alright, hold on, let me start from again. He's a sight for sore eyes, shaped after perfection like he is, between the plunging neckline of his shirt, his strong jawline, and his cascading hair, white like starlight and red like wine. Your eyes don't know where to rest. I don't know if that looks like wine. It's a little bright for wine, but okay. Your dear friend? Asked Marinette. Oh yeah, Marinette was gone while we, like, hung out with Alfion a little bit. Oh. Sorry. Lua. Stop that. Lua's running all up and down my desk and I'm just letting her. So if any other bloopers appear, I'm so sorry. Indeed. So what brings you all here? Asked Alfion. This is supposed to be a party, says Silas. How wonderful, responds Alfion. We're celebrating Marinette's return. He leans forward to look at Marinette. May your past mistake not spoil your heart, miss. Oh, shit, dude. She averts her eyes. I know the perfect way to break the ice. A little story, if you wish. You do seem to enjoy the sound of your own voice, says Marinette. My dear, don't pretend you don't. Silas hides behind his frame to snicker. So this story, says Leatrice. Ah, yes, forgive me for the lack of details, but I need to protect the identity of my mysterious protagonist. Picture this, a sovereign, a ruler, groomed to look over the city from the spires of the citadel, and consider everything below a responsibility. Their hopes and dreams matter little in the face of the great burden on their shoulders, that of the entire city and its people. Marinette steals a glance at you, but you're not sure if he's speaking of you or himself. One day, the sovereign-to-be learns that it would be possible for them to lead a quiet life instead. That would, of course, mean forsaking the city and its people, leaving them to their fates instead of leading them. I have a feeling this is Alfion's story, considering he was an envoy, and he turned his back on the position. But we'll see. In exchange, their own dreams could be fulfilled, and the hope they feel would be their own. What a fool this person would be to choose a quiet life instead of their grand destiny, says Marinette. Is it a destiny they chose, or one that was placed upon their shoulders like a yoke? Asked Alfion. That means that, in the end, they choose the simple life, responds Silas. Perhaps. That is not an easy choice to make. It would mean forsaking every person they ever held dear. So, there's no good ending, responds Silas. This is less of a story and more of a thought exercise. I'm curious what your answer would be, Leatrice. Oh, shit. The sovereign must embrace their destiny. Must the sovereign make a choice at all? The sovereign has a right to a quiet life. I'm gonna choose the middle. What are you saying? Asked Marinette. If only there was a way for them to enjoy the best of both worlds, goes Alfion. He winks at you. What would you pick, minstrel? Asked Silas. I'm here to tell a story, not sway your opinion, but I have another tale that will prove illuminating. Humor me with your answers. Imagine, if you will, a thief that leaves coffers empty, but no souls harmed. Merchants weep whenever they hear of them in fear and awe. Silas seems to like this story more than the other already. And all the money this dashing rogue steals ends up in the hands of the Lady of Dawn, who feeds the poor and clothes the indignant. You, my dear missus, see the face of this mysterious benefactor and learn of their less than legal exploits. What would you do? Neither of them speaks at first. Marinette? I'd tell the city guard of what I witnessed. If the thief was acting alone, they'd be hanging from the gallows quick enough, says Silas. An execution seems awfully excessive, responds Marinette. Tell that to the nobles of the Citadel. It's their solution to everything, responds Silas. I had no idea, Marinette responds. Alfion smirks like a satisfied cat. I'm afraid I must return to work, lest the innkeeper come chasing after me with a pan. I have seen him do it, says Silas. He bows to you all. I look forward to the day when I can spend time with you alone. His eyes turn from their warm hazel to the eerie color of the abyss as he whispers those words. Silas and Marinette are none the wiser. After he leaves, Marinette makes an earnest effort to stay civil with Silas, a feat she manages to accomplish up until the assorted roast arrives. Silas is too busy devouring it to pay much attention to her, and after another round of drinks, the evening comes to an end. We're walking you to the halls, miss, says Silas. Don't I have a say in the matter? Asks Marinette. You do if you know the way, responds Silas. Her defeated silence tells you she doesn't. Once you drift among the sweet waves of slumber, the abyss rouses to speak to you. What once was a pinnacle now cries alone, where light does not reach. Shunned by mortals, it sings for you. For me? Asked Leatrice. Silas didn't have any nightmares during the night, but you're no less worried. The words of the abyss stay with you as you get dressed. Something, a pale imitation of life, is trying to reach out for you. Morning, goes Silas. The sun's first light is heralded by the echo of several bells. The city wakes together. You have established a small morning routine with Silas, a visit to the outhouse, and a stop by the well. The miss is coming today as well, right? Asks Silas. I think so, responds Leatrice. Sweet. When Marinette arrives, she is accompanied by a savory smell. You brought little oranges? Asks Silas. Silas rummages through the basket still hanging on Marinette's arm. Couldn't you at least pretend to have manners? Asked Marinette. Silas takes out a small ball coated in breadcrumbs, orange in color, definitely not fruit. When she bites into it, she reveals the filling of rice and vegetables. Apparently not. After you're done eating, Marinette clears her voice and gestures at the scarcely furnished room. Tell me, Leatrice, do you like it here? Asked Marinette. Why wouldn't I? It's the only house I've known. I don't. Of course, why? I'm gonna say it's the only house I've known. I don't have anything to compare it to. Would you like for that to change? Asked Marinette. A room has been secured for you at the Refrain. Never heard of it, says Silas. For a reason. It's a guest house managed by the halls, magically concealed to protect those within. It's my way to keep you safe after you breach the wards, but it depends on your cooperation. I like to see this guest house. Forgive me for being apprehensive about it. What are the amenities? There must be a catch. I'd say I'd like to see it. Silas makes a face but doesn't say anything. I mean, I don't think Marinette would hurt me. I trust her. The colorful squalor of the eastern hold turns its splendor past the twin bridges. For once, I have no idea where to go, says Silas. Bring us to Autry's Rest. I should be able to find my way once we're there, responds Marinette. Aye, aye. She leads you from one alley to the other. One of them has a small group of people gathered around her doorstep. They are all in various states of underdress with loosened blouses or no skirts. Your presence, or is it Marinette's, elicits fearful whispers. Just passing through. We're not interested, responds Silas. She marches past them, hand-waving her concerns away. Did you just lead us past a brothel? Asked Marinette. The name is Pillow House, and yes, it's the shortest way to... She makes a grand gesture to the square opening up before you, watched over by Autry's statue. Marinette looks above her shoulder for a moment before searching for the citadel in the distance. Follow me. It's a short walk from here. You said the refrain is magically concealed? Said Leatrice. Indeed, you will not see it until I make it known to you. Ugh, goes Silas. The sun-drenched streets of Carolise are speckled with red geraniums and the late, delicate blooms of orange trees. Marinette approaches such a tree, but when you blink... What just happened? Asked Silas. The view shifted in front of your eyes, revealing the fenced courtyard of a foreign-looking palace. Exquisitely dark shadows hide under the arches, topped by a belfry without a bell. Welcome to the Refrain, says Marinette. Marinette takes a heavy key from her belt and unlocks the gate. Was this place hiding under my nose all this time? Asked Silas. Mind your volume while you are here. We are not alone. Silas frowns and purses her lips together. The foyer is surprisingly austere, dominated as it is by a wooden flight of steps polished to shine. To the side, an open door reveals a banquet hall similarly elegant in its simplicity. Ooh. Silas looks at the walls adorned with bas-reliefs of the goddess, sun, and traces the symbol of dawn in the air. It looks nothing like I imagined, says Silas. The first floor is bathed in natural light. Rows of identical doors flank the carpeted hallway. It's this one. She pushes the door open and lets you catch the first glimpse. The room prepared for you is small, but does not feel cramped. An ornate divider hides the head of the bed from sight. Look at the writing desk. There's a nice scent in the air. What's inside the armoire? Let's look at the writing desk. A small pile of books is stacked on top of it. When you pull the drawer, you see a collection of candles, quills, and paper, plus an ink bottle. You know, it's not half bad. Dare I say it's nice, and it's fit for a miss. Do you want to come with Silas? She's free to visit, but I'm afraid the halls have no interest in protecting her. Oh, that's rude. Come on. We're all in the same boat. We're all working together. But they do in you. After you breach their wards, you understand why. She can live in the safe house for as long as she pleases. You're not kicking me out. I am not the witch you paint me to be. Marinette approaches the painting hung by the bed and flips it behind it. A hole in the wall has a rope passing through a small bell. What's that? Asks Silas. Marinette rings the bell. A moment later, the ropes begin to move. If I understood the mechanism correctly, this should bring boiled water and some herbs very soon. So there's a mage stuck downstairs whose only job is to make drinks? Asks Silas. Look at Marinette for confirmation. I'll be frank, I do not know who prepares this. The echo of a small bell rings in the hall of the wall, and the pulley system brings up a tray with 3 steaming cups of water and several bundles of herbs. How do they know there were 3 in here? Asks Silas. Marinette places the tray on the writing desk and puts the painting back in place. They could probably hear us from the hole, responds Leatrice. Now I really want to know who they are. Marinette shakes her head and dips a bundle of mint into her cup. Leatrice, take the lemon balm. Silas could probably use the chamomile. There aren't enough chairs for 3, and Silas refuses the drink. I want to look around. I can, right? If I stay quiet, asks Silas. As long as you behave like a guest should, responds Marinette. I will. Stay here with Marinette. Tisane is too warm to be consumed immediately, so you take some time to observe the room. I hope you find it to your liking, says Marinette. Let's say I do. I'm glad to hear that. It's not as remote as the Eastern Hold, and the district is safer at night. A voice on the other side of the door catches your attention, as does Silas's cry. Marinette rolls her eyes and opens the door. You recognize the man talking with Silas. He was the one that found you in the wheat field of the halls. Oh my god, this guy!
Ascanio. It's unlike you to be late.
Ascanio's his name? I finally learned his name after all this time.
Late? Did I not tell you you were expected at the 11th hour?
It's not even the 10th yet.
Forgive me for being eager to learn more of the Hall's best-kept secret.
One I am sure you will keep.
The threat in his voice is not veiled in the slightest, but that doesn't faze Marinette.
Miss, I am happy to answer your questions about your new accommodation.
He seems to be the seneschal, keeper of the guest house. He did not even properly introduce himself. Why do the halls want to protect me? He glares at her.
You breached the wards. It would be tragic if something happened to you before she learned how you managed it.
Oh. Ah. Makes sense.
No, ask the real question.
Who's heating the water for the Tisane? Am I the only guest at the moment? Who else has a room here? You ask Silas.
Am I the only guest at the moment?
I am not at liberty to divulge that information.
I think I have a right to know who I'm living with. Come on, bro.
I should show you around. Follow me.
The interior of the refrain isn't as big as the outside would suggest. Ascanio shows you where you can find the washroom and privy and walks you downstairs to list the simple menu offered in the dining hall.
I will return to my study. Try and maintain a modicum of decorum while you are in the shared areas.
His study is on the opposite end of the banquet hall. As soon as the door is closed, Silas puffs out air.
Does everyone in the halls treat a conversation like a fight they need to win?
Not everyone.
Is Ascanio a friend of yours, Marinette? Calling him a friend is a stretch, responds Marinette. Marinette hands you a key to your room. I'm afraid I must take my leave as well. So soon? With the solstice coming, the council meets more often. I'll see you tomorrow outside the gates. She curtsies and leaves. What does the solstice have to do with the council? Asks Leatrice. The halls are involved with the festival, that's all I know, responds Silas. Silas looks around the foyer. I still find this place strange, but it's really nice. Aren't you relieved about seeing less of me? Nah, goes Silas. I like looking at you. Oh? Oh, you like looking at me? Hold up, screenshotting that. Okay. That's nice. Did I just say that out loud? Asked Silas. Girl. Oh my god. Aw, the miss forgot about the Tissanes. They're probably cold by now. Want to go back upstairs, or... I think I will go to the temple, responds Leatrice. Your search for the harbor was fruitless. Without a voice to guide you, you need some kind of direction, and you found it at the temple. And the ancient horror is the only plague of Caerlease. How many peasants are falling to the blood death? Enough that someone should give it a proper name. Let me come with you. You have been reading for the temple for some hours. Silas is long gone, and people trickle in asking for your services at a slow pace. One such person is a stocky man with a downturned mouth. When he sees you, his eyes grow large and scared, and he crushes the roll of parchment in his hands. Miss Leatrice, you're... He bolts away before finishing his sentence, possessed by unholy terror at your sight. When you chase at him and tangle him so you can reach him, wait. Why did he run like that? Oh, this is the first time we've had this option. Let's try it out. Your command echoes in the temple, but does not reach him. A few of the priests glare at you and raise your hands in apology. The man was the first to recognize you, and he was afraid. News of your disappearance was spread. Who were you before coming an envoy? Let's do that one. He did call you Miss. Coupled with the clothes that were left for you, it does paint a picture, one too vague for your liking. Is everything all right? Asked Brother Mattia. Brother Mattia approaches your counter with a bowl in hand. The fragrant, savory smell of fried fennel flowers tickles your nose. You have been here for hours. You should eat something. He places the bowl on the counter and nudges it in your direction. Thank you. The salt-sprinkled flowers are crunchy and delicious. Brother Mattia leans over the counter with a smile. This could be the perfect chance to learn more about the goddess. I want to ask about that. Have you ever heard of the false sun? It's probably a bad question to ask. This is a question he does not like. Someone mentioned it in passing on the streets. It made me curious, says Leatrice. The Triune goddess is not without detractors. That is the name non-believers use to refer to her. You were right. The false sun is the goddess. The Abyss wants you to destroy her. Do you remember the favor I asked of you? Asked Brother Mattia. Of course. You show him a list you keep in the drawer, one that tracks all the funerary notices you are asked to write. Here you are. He gives it a quick read. They all come from the lands of House Rizzo. He folds the list and hides it in his robe. I think I know who to ask for assistance. Thank you again for your service, Leatrice, and don't let the food get cold. You take another fennel flower just in time for an old couple to approach you. Death, you read and write of so much death. The occasional love message is welcome, and so are celebrations of births and weddings. Then a familiar face graces you. Hello again, miss, says the sailor. It's the sailor with the same nightmare as Silas. How are you doing? He grimaces and slides a letter over the counter. I'll feel much better once I know what this says. My dearest Querent, it is with a heavy heart that I give you this grievous news. His eyes turn wide and unblinking. Water overflows in you. A sailor, perhaps? Your root spells doom unless you root yourself in the water's enemy, Earth. You frown. For 1 gold piece... Sir, this is a scam. No, keep reading. This Lady of Dream wants to be paid to rebalance your humors. She can do that? I'm not the only one with the nightmares. I could get the others to pitch in. Sir, please. But she's right. She's right about the water. When I wake up, tears fill my eyes, but they do not sting. I cry not because I am scared, but to rid myself of the water overflowing in me. You mull over the words in front of you. Your route. spells doom. That's what she said, yes. Can you tell me, right before the nightmare started, you were on a vessel, correct? Where was it bound? I was on a ship back from Linguistica, and nothing remarkable happened during the journey. You have never heard that name before. You know how it goes, right? The Javadians sell things to us, and we resell them to others. Linguistica's a sea republic like Dogado, but on the opposite side of the peninsula, closer to Thea. Your shipmates to and from Linguistica, do they also share the nightmare? That's right, 20 sailors, one nightmare. Can I say, miss, that it's nice to finally be taken seriously? He struggled to convince the sailor that sending money to this Lady of Dreams would not help him in the slightest, but he eventually relented. 20 sailors, one nightmare. One that has managed to spread to Silas as well. Speak of the devil, she's outside waiting for you. Why the long face? Asked Silas. How does the saying go? I am stuck. Between a rock and a hard place? Asked Silas. Aw, can I help? Probably. Peasants dying once they leave the countryside, a place they leave nevertheless. They will all die, squeezed for their sweat, prized like the donkey is for its work, not for its being. Sailors struck with nightmares that defy comprehension. Behold the ancient horror, the mistake, the unwanted, consumed by grief. It will destroy us all. The voices of the dead pull you in both directions. Oh shit! I want to help both problems. Well, I want to help Silas. Hopefully it doesn't really ruin my chances with Marinette. I'm also really curious. I'm more curious about the dreams. And I feel like they're pushing us more in that direction because, like, the random deaths all in one single area, I mean, it's concerning, but, like, we don't really have evidence of foul play yet, whereas the dreams are suspicious and magic. So, you know what? We're gonna do this. Why? Asked Silas. Whatever is causing the nightmares lives in the sea, on the route to Linguistica. Silas looks at you for a moment, lost. Is that why I have those nightmares too? I believe so. And your solution is to board a ship to Linguistica? My options are yes, unless you have a better solution. How much of a bad idea is it? Board a ship, find exactly where and what the problem is, and get rid of it. Maybe not. What do you suggest? Yes, unless you have a better suggestion. She taps her chin. I know someone who might be able to help. The dockmaster is not as stuffy as its title would make you think. The opposite. He knows everything there is to know about the harbor. Would he be willing to listen to me? Silas beats on her chest. I guarantee it. Wait, didn't you say that the cause of the nightmares is at the bottom of the sea? Lady of Dawn, save us all. It's a siren. What do you know about sirens? Not much. They're old sailors' tales, but if you say they're real... She sucks in a deep breath. Do you remember that the Thean ship that was falling apart? Do you think... It's possible the siren could have destroyed it. That would mean it does come up to the surface. Silas shudders. Another good reason to never set foot onto one of those traps. Can I ask, why do you want to help so badly? Someone has to, responds Leatrice. Silas tries to conceal her smile. And someone needs to keep you alive, so I guess I'll come with you. I appreciate it. She elbows your side with a grin. Do you need to... Wait, you have the refrain now. You can still escort me there. I like that, responds Silas. The streets coil around the hills Carelise was built on, sloping towards the sea. Do you have any plans for the festival? Asks Silas. The Solstice Festival, right? She nods enthusiastically. It's in a fortnight or so. The halls will summon this big ball of fire in the sky so that the day can last throughout the night. That's the everlasting crime. How long does the festival last? Asked Leatrice. 5 whole days! It's a great excuse to dance and drink. It's also the time of year when the council decides if any merchants get to become nobles, so the bigwigs to be try to impress everybody with free stuff. She pinches her blouse. I got this beauty a couple of years ago from a festival. You reach the gates of the refrain, visible to you two, but not anybody around you. Enjoy the new room, and don't get turned into a frog! Croak. Her cheeks puff with laughter. You bid her farewell and watch her saunter off. When you pass through the gates, the shadows all around you reverberate for a brief moment. That must be the magical ward that guards the refrain from the eyes of the populace. Your stomach twists when your eyes fall upon the sunburst engraved in the foyer. A sudden uncomfortable feeling in your chest makes you tense like a bowstring. Why? What is causing all of this? You avert your eyes from the blooming suns on the wall and reach your room. The Tissane's marinade made are still there, amber-colored and cold. You lock the door and take a moment to soak it all in. Find the place comforting. You're alone for the first time in a long time. Something slips away from you. The need to listen, to talk, to engage. In this little space, you're allowed to simply be. You take the small tinderbox on the desk and light the lone candle. Quiet is conductive to thought. I feel like a notable drink. The candle's flame dances hypnotically. Browse the book selection on the desk. We're gonna look at the books. A leather brown journal lies on top of the small pile. The pages rustle like leaves, and you wonder if they're meant for you. The other 2 volumes are a lean tome titled The Art of Poetry and a collection of tales from foreign countries. You open the latter to see Valerico Vanni's familiar name on the preface. That must be one of the works he has translated. Who is it? Asked Leatrice. You receive no answer. A sealed envelope slides into the room from under the door. Take the letter. The wax seal of the letter glitters like stars in the sky, and it stands with an ornate M. When you turn the envelope, a message appears on the back. My dear Leatrice, as the sun sets, I long for company, and my heart aches for you. Open the envelope to accept my invitation. Yours, M. Oh, okay. I'm guessing this is Marinette. Her heart aches for me? This feels a little sudden. Oh my god. You can't see me. My hands are up my chest right now. I'm like, oh my god, clutching my pearls. Curious, you break the seal. Loose smoke clouds your vision and fills your nostrils with a sweet scent. You almost call the shadows to your aid when...
You made it.
Ah! Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Hold on, let me take some sippies. I need to calm down. I'm too excited. Okay. Oh, all right, sippies. And the scene is voice acted? Shit. I'm fucked. All right. Okay. Okay. Being calm. We got this. Marinette is waiting for you by an impossibly still pool filled with starlight.
I knew it would work.
Oh?
Are we in the halls?
Veils flutter in the air between columns of white marble that seem to gleam just like the stars behind them. There are no candles lighting the space, yet you can see her clearly. No breeze caresses your cheek, yet the veils still dance.
Welcome to my quarters.
In the distance, on the horizon, a great fire scorches the sky, and it's Lua, and tinges with its hues. This place is beautiful.
Why, thank you.
She approaches one of the sofas, a brass marvel lined with plush velvet.
Take a seat.
When you do, your reflection greets you from a mirror right in front of you. It wasn't there a second ago, and neither was the beautiful comb lying next to you. Oh my god, is she... What is happening? You recognize it. It's the one Marinette bought at Malik's shop. She walks around the sofa. You still your breath when she is behind you. The mirror is your only way to look at her.
Why so tense?
I don't know. You summoned me to your bedroom, and I'm on a sofa in front of a mirror. Oh my god. You release the breath you were holding. The air carries her scent, intoxicating like that of a rare flower. With a smile, she raises the jeweled comb, making it gleam in the bright night of her quarters.
May I?
You can do whatever the fuck you want of me, Marinette. You may. Is it not meant for my hands in your hair? Nod. What is it that you want to do? Yeah, you may.
You may.
Wonderful.
It's the first time someone has touched you so delicately. Marinette's fingers run through your hair, getting caught only at the ends. Her eyes are locked with your reflection, with your own.
There is no need to obfuscate what we say in here.
Oh?
Dear, you wound me.
She lifts a lock of hair. Comb runs slightly through it as if gliding.
Whilst the quest did in here, I pored over my mentor's journals. I don't believe I ever told you much about him.
Oh, less... I mean, it's interesting. But less what I was expecting, but okay. She didn't. You only know that he was among those that sacrifice themselves for you.
Venando was his name, and he always told me that with my beauty, I could have made a fine successor to his legacy as Grand Advisor.
Just with your beauty? Marinette, you're so smart and talented.
I chose the path of the scholar instead.
She is looking in the mirror, but her eyes focus past you into her memories.
That created a rift between us, one we never mended. Nevertheless, our relationship remained cordial. Perhaps it's because of that distance that I never realized the depth of his madness.
Oh. How was he mad?
He learned that on the precipice of death, drenched in his own blood, he could hear the voice of the abyss.
Oh, shit.
His reckless pursuits didn't end sooner only because he wasn't alone in chasing them. He belonged to a coven, one he handed over to Sister Anne.
She hasn't come looking for me yet.
If what old Venando wrote is correct, she won't. Not until you plunge into the abyss and emerge one with its purpose.
Okay. I don't know what the fuck that means. Her eyes lower.
Only when the false sun drowns in blood will the darkest hour come.
She observes your reaction in the mirror.
Does it sound familiar?
We'll tell her the truth.
When the abyss speaks to me in my dreams, it calls me the destroyer of the false sun.
Thus the bringer of the darkest hour.
Only when the false sun drowns in blood will the darkest hour come, she told you.
The false sun is the goddess. Of that I'm sure.
This is your first time seeing Marinette's resolve falter when she is faced with what the future might hold. Carnage, destruction, change. So we got the will of the abyss shall be done. I do not wish to oppose her. I mean, I don't know what to choose. Like, I feel like, so as our character, we're questioning everything. We don't understand anything. Alpheon changed his fate. He gave up being the envoy. So we could change our fate. I mean, do we really want to be the harbinger of, like, the darkest hour? Harbinger of death, destruction, chaos, change? Like, that's a lot of responsibility. And a lot of people can get hurt from that. I'm going to say I do not wish to oppose her.
Not when she does so much good for...
Once again, your stomach twists. A sudden chill makes you grind your teeth. The feeling is gone just as suddenly as it overcame you.
I see.
Silence falls between you, and Marinette resumes combing your hair. Whenever she tilts her head, her earrings jingle like little bells. The comb gently wades through your hair, helped by her nimble fingers. Find it relaxing.
It breaks my heart to disturb your peace, but I was hoping you could lend me your ear about something else.
Oh?
Of course.
The faint trace of a smile makes her lips curl.
According to the halls, magic must have a price. It is a rarity, a closely guarded secret. If magic were to be freely performed, the peasant would not work the land. The mage would do it for them.
Okay, and?
The mason would not carve marble. The mage would do it for them.
She puts the comb down to look at you through the mirror.
The halls do not want people to depend on them. They are to live their lives by their own merits, finding solace in the ladies, not in the succor magic could provide. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a terrible execution of a lofty ideal.
The real tragedy is that I can't think of a better way to put such ideals into practice. I have long been pursuing knowledge for its own sake. What would it take for us to harness the Aether in service of the city?
A great upheaval. The destruction of the halls.
Enough blood to drown the entire city and the false sun with it.
An upheaval you could bring forth.
Oh?
But enough about gloom. Tonight I want to indulge in only the sweetest of possibilities.
Okay. She leans forward to collect the hair that spills over your chest. Pressed against you, you're enveloped by her scent, a perfume so intoxicating that you breathe in a mouthful more to have it linger on your tongue. Marinette seems pleased with your reaction and collects your hair at the nape.
Beautiful.
Her eyes are locked with yours in the mirror. She twists the locks with care, forming a knot pinned in place by the comb.
Don't you think?
She reaches for your chin and guides your head to the left. You're right, your reflection is second and only beauty to yourself. It looks beautiful, thank you.
You can keep the comb. It was always meant for you.
Aww.
I will treasure it, just like the time we spent together.
Unfortunately, I must retire for the night.
You stand up and she takes your side, eager to clutch your hands in hers.
We shall meet like this again soon, my dearest friend.
Blue smoke envelops you. When you open your eyes, you're back at the refrain. The moon shines bright in the sky, and the cicada's song accompanies the night. That night, the darkness of your dreams splits to reveal the voice of the abyss. The light of the prodigal one taints the abyss, displeases it. May your darkest hour flood radiance with blood and bring forth the reckoning. Who is the prodigal one? Once you bring its name back to their lips, the prodigal one shall cower and be in awe of its truth. Lua. The distant tolling of bells makes you stir awake. Beyond the window, the sky is about to lose its stars to the rising sun. You unlock the door with care, trying to make as little noise as you can. Instead of going out to a fountain or a well, the refrain has an indoor washroom and you head there. It's at the end of the hallway. A drape flutters in the entrance, lit on the other side by the first light of morning. The tub is empty, and a small recess in the wall nestles a small handbell, the same as the one hidden by the painting in your room. Eager to refresh yourself, you ring it. Magic surges from the corners of the room and waver bubbles in the tub where nothing previously was. This is a magic the halls, manipulation of the aether, and yet you saw the shadows deepen. Why? You beckon them forward and they coil around you, eager to serve, but unable to explain. Marinade might know something about it. You should ask her. With a hum, you touch the steaming water. It's the perfect temperature. Refreshed, you head downstairs. The banquet hall is deserted, and you have yet to see a servant. Feel relieved, and glad to have some privacy in the morning. The sun has begun its race for the apex, and it drenches the bleached facade of the refrain with its light. The shadows quiver once you cross the gates and leave the magically warded area. Around you, the city is waking up. Waste is dumped in the canal, bakeries open their doors to sell the still steaming bread that took all night to prepare, and the wells collect a crowd of their own. Hi, Sinister. How are you? How are you doing? How's your weekend been? Been up to anything fun? Hope you're doing well, that you've been safe and healthy. Lou is in my arms right now with cuddles. Yeah, baby. Nobody approaches you, but you do receive a few curious glances. Then the shadows coalesce into a human shape in the corner of your eye. Well met. Autry emerges from the distance. Fresh blood stains her knuckles, and she wipes them on her ragged pants. Autry, what are you doing here? She raises her hood slightly to look above your shoulder. What does she see, the refrain or the illusion? I wanted to talk to you. That place. It was locking me out, but I can see through the ward now. You knew there was a ward? I'm doing pretty well. It's been a busy weekend. Hope you're doing well, Katie. Well, I'm glad you're doing pretty all right. Hopefully it's not as busy the rest of the day and that you can chill a little bit. I've been doing well. Been a little tired. The cats have been keeping up at night. They've decided to turn my apartment into a racetrack, and no matter what I do to get rid of their energy before bed, they're like, nah. We gotta show off our speed to mommy all night. To the point where even my downstairs neighbor has banged on the his ceiling. So I'm like, dang, dude. I'm trying to get these kitties to stop. But otherwise, I've been good. Last night, actually, they were good. But the past few nights before that, I was just like, it's been a little bit of a nightmare. But it's okay. I love my cats. That's what I get for owning cats. I deserve it at that point. But otherwise, Sunday's been good. Woke up. had breakfast, and then just started streaming. We're right now, so we returned the stolen jewelry. My 3 cats have been running around like maniacs. Is it like that? Is some planet in retrograde and that's why the cats are freaking out? That's gotta be it. Something's gotta be in the air. I mean, Yule's coming up. Yule is actually next Saturday, or this upcoming Saturday. So, I don't know, maybe because it's close to Yule, they're awaiting the sun god or whatnot, or some planets in retrograde, because, like, my cats need to chill. All our cats need to chill. But, yeah, it's been good. So, kind of catch you up with what we've been doing. We returned the item we borrowed. We're trying to help the sailors with their dream. We think a siren may be involved. We have a new residence. We now live at the Refrain, which is owned by the Halls. It's a secret warded safe house. So we now have a new residence. And now we're speaking. Ow, Lou. Speaking with Atri. Girl, I am now covered in your... I should not have worn black leggings. I am now covered in her fur. Okay. ADHD moment right there. So yeah, we're just vibing at this point. I wonder when we're gonna start actually seriously helping the sailors. Because all we always did was like, yeah, we gotta take a ship to this place. And Silas was like, heck yeah. And then we didn't go. So I hope we go soon. Because I really do want to help the sailors. I'm very curious on if a siren... Because no one can confirm if a siren is actually real. They just have, like, stories about them. So, I'm very curious. Also, Silas said they like staring at my face. I took a screenshot. And what was really cute is that they didn't mean to say it. Because, like, I made a joke because now that I moved out of the safe house that I was living with Silas, I was just like, oh, you must be tired of seeing my face, so you must be relieved. And Silas goes, nah, I like looking at your face. And then just goes, did I say that out loud? And I'm like, yes. Yes, you fucking did. Stop. So, you know, every time I'm like, you know what, Silas just isn't for me, she reels me back in. I know, right? See, this is adorable. And then Marinette and I just spent some time alone in her room. Nothing saucy, but it was a moment. It was a cute moment. So we'll see. We'll see how this progresses. I'm still like back and forth. My heart's so easily swayed. It's kind of pathetic, but it's fine. I'm having fun. Okay. For good reason, it's a guest house managed by them, says Leatrice. A guest house? I thought they exclusively dealt with prisons, Autry responded. I'm free to leave whenever I want. But why do they want you in? Asked Autry. Because somehow I can enter the halls. I breached the wards placed around it when my friend was taken in by the warden, and breached them yesterday again when an invitation spirited me in. Interesting. I have never managed it. Ooh, okay, that's interesting, because Autry's also an envoy. Because there's 3 envoys. There's Autry, Alphion, and my character, Leatrice. I should have chosen an A name. Would have been all the 3 A's. But the fact that Autry can't enter the wards is interesting. I wonder it's because I'm, like, newer? Who knows? Is this what you wanted to talk to me about? Asked Leatrice. She shakes her head. The abyss spoke to us all tonight in its usual puzzling manner. She rests her back against the wall, hiding her blood-stained hands. For centuries, I have decrypted its messages, but yesterday night, it mentioned a name I had long forgotten. The prodigal one. I have heard of that name only once before. Her jaw clenches. On the day of my first death. The details are hazy, but the abyss praised my sacrifice and proclaimed Caroline to be free from invaders. It was the prodigal one who brokered this peace. No mortal lives centuries. Are they another envoy? Asked Leatrice. Possibly, one that has been skulking in the shadows for darkness knows how long. What did the Abyss tell you? Tell her what the Abyss wants from you. The Abyss told me to drown the false sun in blood and bring forth the darkest hour, to leave the prodigal one in awe of its darkness. Autrey, what is the darkest hour? I can only guess, responds Autrey. Your descent, perhaps, the moment in which you will face the deepest darkness and become the embodiment of the Abyss's will. The same Abyss that wants to see the streets turn red. I know that face. You see how the temples glorify light, how it's worshipped, and you are filled with doubt? Think about this. When the sun is at its prime, it scorches everything without mercy. What do the people seek, if not the solace of the shadows? The night belongs to the passionate lovers just as it belongs to the cunning murderer. She smiles. Her lips are not cracked anymore, and you see healthy skin resurfacing underneath her scars. The night is not concerned with silly heavens and hells. It welcomes all. She takes a step back into the shadows. Take care. Wait, before you go, how do you do that? How do you merge with the shadows? She extends her hand and touches the ivy crawling over the wall. When you wish to touch something, you do not ask for your arm to reach out. You do not beg your hand to inch its way towards it. You will it, and it happens. Trust yourself and do not ask the shadows. Command them. Instead of bumping against the wall, she steps into it and her form disappears. Then she taps your shoulder from behind. Like this. Are you traveling through the shadows? It's easier at night when everything is bathed in darkness. During the day, you might find your path interrupted. Be mindful of the limitations. You cannot cross solid matter. You will appear from nothingness and possibly scare people. We must always remain hidden. Can others come with me? Only if the shadows welcome them. Alpheon could accompany you, but not your friends. Try it. She seems confident you will make it. The shadow you cast on the wall waves to you. You nod at it. You have no questions for it, no demands. You will return to it. The shadows will welcome you. You take a step forward and your body ceases to exist. You cannot see, for you have no eyes anymore, yet you know exactly where you are. You crawl up the wall, slide through the tiles on the roof, slow and awkward. The shadows aid you, growing deeper and darker to attract your attention. You inch your way back to the ground until you reach a little lit spot and the shadows are forced to push you out. You are out of breath. Dark spots cloud your vision, but Autry's hand on your shoulder brings you back. The more you practice, the less it will take from you. Take care. You blink and she is gone. You decide to return to the refrain. Damn, that's so cool. We can now, like, travel through shadows and become a shadow. That's so interesting. I'm liking this abyss power thing. Though I don't know still about, you know, bathing the streets in blood. That's a little much. But I guess we'll find out. Who knows? Maybe I'll turn evil by the end of this. Fried chickpeas crunch in Silas's mouth when she approaches the gates of the refrain, and she isn't alone. Good morning. Her smile is warm and wonderful. Leetress, why don't you tell the miss about the siren? Asked Silas. A siren? She doesn't acknowledge your rendezvous with Silas's presence. It shall be your secret then. Reminder of Silas's strange nightmares. This creature, this siren, encroaches upon dreams to turn them into nightmares, and they spread like an infection. I spoke to one of the sailors afflicted. He told me the nightmares started after he came back from Ligustica. So the siren's gotta be along that route, right? That's where the Dockmaster's map comes in. Also, since it's a sea monster, it lives where nobody can reach it, except for people like you, miss. Marinette arches an eyebrow. Our options are, you're the only one who can truly see if the creature is there. Will you help us? You'll do it, right? I didn't want to volunteer you for it, but I think you're the only one who can do it. We'll do that one. You're the only one who can truly see if the creature is there. Flattery. Really? Goes Marinette. The route to Ligustica is outside the city. Without the Hall's permission, I would not be able to use my magic there unpunished. Why do you think I want to go to the Dockmaster? If he asked for help, and you saw the state of the Thean ship, this is dangerous for the whole city. The Halls are going to say yes. We are getting ahead of ourselves, responds Leatrice. I agree. Let's meet this Dockmaster first and see how willing he is to listen to us. The briny color of algae and fish guts becomes a foul breeze that makes your nose wrinkle. Why did I forget the perfume scarves? This is worse than last time. Makes sense. We're closer to the fish farms, responds Silas. In the distance, scaffolding divides the shore into a mosaic of ponds filled with fish kept fresh for the slaughter. So where's the Dockmaster? Why not enjoy a stroll? Take me to the Dockmaster, please. What now? All right, let's just go. So where's the Dockmaster? He's around, but I wouldn't know where exactly, says Silas. Are the fish ponds under his jurisdiction? Asked Marinette. I think so. I don't come here often, responds Silas. Why? The people here are hard-working folk, and I tend to leave those be. How noble of you, responds Marinette. Silas rolls her eyes. I'm surprised you seem to hold the Dockmaster in some sort of regard, given your usual attitude about people of a certain stature. That's because he used to be a sailor before becoming the Dockmaster, and you can see it. He's a real person underneath all the rules. Alright, with that, our ad break's going to start any second now, so I'm going to BRB, drink some more water, you know, maybe grab a snack. Please use this time to rest, take care of yourself, and I shall see you soon.
Remember to stay hydrated.
Welcome back. I missed you. Thank you, Sinister, for the first and the hydrate. I hydrated during break. I'm going to hydrate again, so let me take my sippies. Ah. Refreshing. Hydrating. I always want to say delicious when it's not delicious, but I'm hydrating. I'm being good. But again, thank you, Sinister, for taking care of me. I appreciate you. I was also thinking as the ad break was starting, I was like, huh, Sinister didn't redeem hydrate first thing, or first. But I was like, not a big deal. I wasn't thinking anything weird. I was just like, felt a little off this morning. It's just one of those days, you know? Everything's just a little off. But that's okay. All right, so we're gonna... I'm gonna let Marinette speak, only because I'm trying to romance her right now. I could change. Hopefully my wishy-washiness doesn't, like... Or we can nip the impending argument in the bud. You know, how about we do that? It'll be a delight to meet him, says Leatrice. Your forced tone conveys the message. Silas mumbles something under her breath and drops the topic. Let's look around, shall we? The sand crunches happily under your feet when you walk on the shore. From the scaffolding, the fish harvesters regard you with curious looks. Silas, can you describe the dockmaster for us? Asked Marinette. Huh. Tall, has a tattoo on his arm, keeps his beard short. He doesn't fit in his nice jacket anymore, so he lets it flap around like a mantle. Why don't we ask around as well? Asked Leatrice. Someone must know where he's hiding. Hiding? The poor man's probably working. He can give us a minute of his time, busy or not, says Silas. Marinette rolls her eyes. Anglers and sailors busy themselves around the fish ponds. You spot two mariners taking a break in a shaded corner, caught in an animated conversation. A few feet behind them, a rowboat is being repaired and has attracted a small group of bystanders. Another group of people is chatting amicably while fixing the nets strewn over the sandy shore. Let's talk with the sailors taking a break. They're the only ones not working. You approach the two people sitting on the ground, a bulky man and a woman with a scar on her forehead. They look at Marinette, then at each other. I didn't do anything wrong, did I? A grin slowly appears on Marinette's face. I don't know, did you? Silas elbows her. Do you know where the dockmaster is? Asks Leatrice. Haven't seen him around. He turns towards the woman and wordlessly signs something. After a moment of thought, she signs something back and points towards the city. My friend saw him go towards the warehouses. Thank you. We will be on our way. The warehouses sounds exceedingly vague, says Marinette. They're the biggest part of the harbor. Lua, stop that. We do not chew on computer parts, ma'am. Computer parts are not food or toys. That's the spirit, says Silas. I think I didn't read that last line. Oh well. Lua. The warehouses are squat buildings with chipped facades covered in inscriptions, some in chalk, some in tar. City guards patrol the narrow streets. When they see you, they stop in their tracks, whisper something to each other. Approach them. Silas want to ask them. Marinette wants to do the honors. Gladly. She walks over to them and curtsies. I am in need of your assistance. Might you tell me where the dockmaster is? The guards exchange a look between each other. We just took two Illyrians to his chancery. He should still be there. If you wish, we can escort you there, miss. Much appreciated. Despite their friendly tone, they keep stealing glances at Marinette. Fearful glances. The chancery is just one building among many, bleached by the sun and ravaged by inscriptions in several languages you don't recognize. Guards tip their plumed hats and walk off. Plumed. I can't read today. That's okay. Why didn't you bring us here in the first place? Asked Marinette. Because he's usually on a boat or at the docks, not in there, responds Silas. From the other side of the door, the occasional raised voice can be heard. Silas knocks vigorously. Sir, this is an emergency. A voice rises above the others in a foreign tongue. A moment later, the door opens of its own accord, and a bearded man limps out, followed by another with a red face and frown lines carved between his eyebrows. Illyrians, huh? Or what are their problem? Or what was their problem? They are fools letting marital problems sour business. That's their problem, responds the dockmaster. Come in. You step into the sea of logs and nautical charts that is the chancery. The dockmaster is a portly man with a friendly face. However, he appears defeated, his mood soured by the squabbling Illyrians. Then you see his shadow. It dances madly, thrashing like kelp in a current. It's trying to rip itself apart from him. Wait, Silas, it's you, and you're not alone. He looks at Marinette in alarm, who graces him with a polite smile. Then at you. Faced with status, he straightens his posture to introduce himself. Name's Bastian. It's a pleasure to meet you. These are Miss Marinette and Miss Leatrice, says Silas. Let's cut to the chase, shall we? I wasn't jesting when I said we have an emergency. His shadow is straining itself, trying to touch yours despite its frenzied dance. I'm gonna allow it. You take a step forward, and it's enough for his shadow to spill into yours. Shattered wings, a crown of teeth, tendrils that end in talons. Won't you answer my pleas? A throne of salt-encrusted bones. You rip your shadow away from his. Cold sweat drips from your forehead. There's too much water in you. Too much, you need to get it out. Leatrice! Bastion's face is a mask of terror. His nails scrape crescents on his arm, marks of the deep, a sign that his soul too has been touched by whatever lurks in the sea. What was that? His nails draw blood. It was the siren, the one that prowls the seabed and fills your people with nightmares. Prime Almighty, watch over us all. Does that mean you're here to help? Asked Bastion. He glances at Marinette, but you are the only one to answer him with a determined nod. Lock the door, or we'll keep being interrupted. Silas does as asked. His desk is littered with nautical charts, logbooks, and stray rolls of parchment. Tell us what you know. I didn't care much for the rumors at the beginning. Seeing a siren is every mariner's dream, after all, responds Bastion. That was until the dreams became nightmares. There's something wrong with those afflicted, and with me. His frenzied shadow can't stay still. Someone bangs on the door, startling you. Bastion rolls his eyes and ignores his distraction. Why did you keep things quiet? Asked Leatrice. I made the mistake of informing the Citadel of the situation. They claim that with the Solstice Festival so close, we can't afford to scare off merchants with rumors of a siren. Those nobles really only think for their coin pouches, said Silas. Until one of their vessels is attacked, only then I fear they'll allow me to act. I haven't been idle, of course. I have been telling all departing vessels to take a longer route because of unpredictable weather. What about the ships inbound for Carolise? Asked Marinette. With no way to contact the ships on water, all I can do for them is pray. How do you know of the siren? Asked Bastion. We're gonna say a sailor. A desperate sailor contacted the Lady of Dreams through me. That scam is still around? Asked Bastion. Seems so, responds Silas. The sailors were thinking of pitching in to have her rebalance their humors. Bastion's frown deepens. I'll have a talk with them. How many have been affected thus far? Asked Marinette. I've talked with dozens of people, some worse than others. Spending time away from the sea seems to help. Bastion's shadow waits for your eyes to focus on it, then stretches to touch Silas. Her own shadow quivers and begins animating too. Of course the islanders can't do that. He scratches the scars on his arm. And neither can I. Miss Marinette, if you're here, does that mean the halls themselves are taking an interest in our predicament? Leatrice is, thus so am I, responds Marinette. You can see from his face that he has opinions about Marinette's forcefulness, but it's polite enough to keep them to himself. We know the siren is somewhere on the route to Lingustica. Close enough, says Bastion. Bastion takes out a map from the case on his hip and unrolls it on a desk. A web of lines, some red and some green, almost conceals the Middle Sea from you. From distant Wahirit in the east to Lusitania in the west, the entire basin is depicted. Coastal settlements and cities are marked with names so small you have to squint to read them. His finger ends up a smidgen above the Isle of Fiorella. This is where the Athenian vessel that sank some days ago was attacked. It's also close to where the route to Lingustica diverges from the others. The siren moves, but never too far from here. How certain are you? Reasonably so. I wish I could do something more about it, but I don't want to send my people to their deaths. If the dockmaster were to ask for my services, he would do so against the express wishes of the Citadel, finishes Bastion. You're about to say something when he raises his gaze and steels himself. I don't need any convincing. I know what's right, and it's not what the Citadel wants. However, the Hall's vessel doesn't sail in times of peace. Miss Marinette, would someone like you object to boarding a merchant ship as opposed to the Hall's galleasses? It would shield me from the eye of the Citadel, at least for a while. Not at all. Discretion can be a novel in its own right, responds Marinette. He looks at all of you and nods. I will request the assistance of the Halls. Fortune favors you, Dockmaster. You stand in the presence of the third of the council. Mouth agape, Bastion suddenly straightens his posture. Oh my. I wish I'd known before. I do not have the power to call for an extraordinary assembly on my own. Fret not. With your help, I am certain I can bring more members to our cause. I'm thinking of a letter, responds Marinette. A shout outside is quickly followed by more banging on the door. Silas, do me a favor and tell the people outside to come back later. For one iron piece, I'll do it. Bastion clicks his tongue and flicks a coin in her direction. Silas catches it, checks it against the light, and nods. Consider it done. Silas, please. Just help a brother out. You help Bastion and Marinette write the letter while Silas keeps the piece outside. Once Marinette is satisfied with it, Bastion seals it in wax with his signet ring and hands it to her. I pray our extraordinary assembly can take place tomorrow. And I will pray for your success, Miss Marinette. You escort Marinette back to the halls. I'm surprised the Dockmaster didn't question your involvement, Leatrice. My involvement and a rather nebulous identity. It's something I like about him. He sees people as that, people, not titles. There they are, the halls, shimmering like a jewel among the sun-baked bricks. Do you think the host will really agree to help? Asked Silas. The only way to reach the siren is with magic, responds Marinette. That's not an answer. It's the best one I can give you at the moment. Marinette approaches the watery gates of her home with purpose, but stops in her tracks to address you. How I wish you could come with me, my friend. You can't, and that only makes her yearn for you more. Oh, okay. Farewell. She leaves you with one last glance. Huh, goes Silas. What now? The afternoon sun scorches all its rays touch and makes the glittering waves of the hall square almost too bright for comfort. So I can spend time with Silas or look for Alphion. I'm so curious about Alphion. The moment I did not know this in the demo. Like, the moment I found out he's, like, also an envoy, I just want to spend time with him to learn about it, even though he doesn't want to talk about it. So I'm just like, but I feel like I've been neglecting Silas, and I do really like Silas's character, too. I don't know. What do we think? I think I might need help making a decision. Should we spend time with Silas or go look for Alphion? I gotta think. I'm gonna take Sippy as well, I think. Okay. Sorry, I got distracted by a Discord DM. So. I think we're gonna spend time with Silas. Because, again, I feel like I'm neglecting them. And also, I feel like I'm going to play this again to romance Alphion, because I really do like him. And I'm just so curious about his story and how a romance between two envoys would look. But I'll do that off screen. I'm not going to do multiple playthroughs of Sigh of the Abyss on stream. I also, speaking of which, I ended up buying all, like, the bundle for the Witcher games is on sale. So I ended up buying all 3 Witcher games to prepare for Witcher 4, since I never played The Witcher before. But Witcher 4 looks so good, so I was like, why not? So I might, instead of finishing my second Veilguard playthrough, I might stream The Witcher. So we'll see. Sinister, have you played The Witcher before at all? Or, like, just, like, watched the show or anything? I have not watched the show. I have not played the games. I have not read the books. I've heard really good things, but, like, not to be, like, sexist. That sounds so bad. I just don't really, like, play games with male leads too often, you know? I play games where I could be a woman. But with Witcher 4, where I could play a woman, you played Witcher 3? Yeah, so, like, where with Witcher 4 I could be a woman and it looks good, I was like, you know what? I can handle being a dude for some time. I can play a guy. I can be a convincing guy, right? So I bought all 3 Witcher games. Most people say I don't really need to start at 1 and 2, or, like, I could just, like, play 3 to play 4, from what my understanding is, because I asked a bunch of people that have played. I decided, because 1 and 2 aren't that long, like, because I looked at how long to beat Witcher 1 and Witcher 2, and I like knowing the lore behind things. So I was just like, and the bundle right now is on sale for Steam for like $11. It didn't include the DLCs for Witcher 3, so I'd have to go back and buy those later on. But the first two games don't take a lot of time, so I was just like, why not? I'll just start at the beginning. You played Witcher 3. Did you like it? Did you enjoy Witcher 3? I've heard really good things, just that it's super long. So, I guess you and I can experience 1 and 2 together on stream. So the games are completely separate from the books and show. I figured the books were separate. I didn't realize the show were separate too. Because some people said, like, if I skip the first 2 games, I just need to watch the first 2 seasons of The Witcher. Which I wasn't planning on doing anyway. I was like, I'm just going to play the games. Good to know that they're completely separate. Witcher 3 is great, but it's a fucking massive game. Fair enough. That's what my friend Matt told me. He tried to play Witcher 3, and then he got stuck in a part and decided to leave it alone. And never went back to it, and now it's been too long, so he's like, I have to start at the beginning again. You know what, though? I do need some games to occupy my time, because, like, there's so many releases in 2025 that I'm waiting for. I'm still salty that Expedition 33 wasn't, like, a part of the Game Awards. They announced on their Twitter they weren't going to be, but I was like, I need a release date, guys. I need a release date. So I need something to occupy my time for that amount of time. I also still gotta play Mass Effect Andromeda, but I was like, I need a break from BioWare. I think what I need is a break from BioWare. I love BioWare, but I think I need a break from them. So, you know what? Maybe after this week, we'll see how far we get into Sigh of the Abyss. We'll start the Witcher series. Because I've heard good things. Like, I've always been curious about The Witcher. I just, like, you know, I also wasn't that big of a gamer back then. I didn't really start gaming till college. So, before college was just, like, Pokemon games and dating sims. So, I mean, not that dating sims isn't gaming, but, like, I haven't done, like, massive, intense gaming until college and, like, the past 3 years. So, it's gonna be interesting. But, yeah. So, after stream today, I'm gonna download Witcher 1 to prepare it. So, it's already downloaded, because I didn't download them after I bought them this morning right before stream. Where you're going to hear a lot of people who focus on the books say that the games are trash, and they're really hating on the trailer for 4. Don't get me started on the trailer for 4. Oh my god, don't get me started on the Game Awards in general, because, like, my whole... So, Blue Sky was great. Blue Sky, my feed, all great. It's people being pumped for all these games. Twitter is all, God, why would they make a girl the lead of the game? So woke. And it's literally all people shitting on either Witcher 4 or, like, all these other games that had female protagonists. And I'm just like, female protagonists have been around for, like, more than a decade. What woke shit are you seeing? Like, what do you mean? Women exist. What do you mean? I don't understand why you're upset that there's women lead characters. Also, if you don't like it, you just simply don't play it. It's okay. Not every game is meant to be made for you. But then they get upset that it's not made for them. And I'm just like, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Like, I don't play games that I'm not interested in. Simple as that. I don't get mad that they exist. I'm glad that they exist. Gives me more, like, easier time to find people that I connect with on the games I do like. So yeah, my Twitter feed is still, like, trash from the Game Awards, just shitting on all these, like, on Witcher 4 and all these, like, female protagonist games. And I'm just like, y'all need to chill. And when did it become cool to hate women again? Like, I mean, it's never cool in the first place, but apparently it's now a trend again to openly hate women. Because in the books, women can't be witches, but the games broke that rule. Oh my god. That's so dumb. So I'll just never read the books then. Because Not to mention Siri looking fun. Siri looks so fucking good. And when she said, there are no gods here, only monsters, like, stole my heart. That's what got me to hooked and want to try the series. Because I was like, yep, this woman, I'd die for her. I'd do anything for her. Like, oh my god. And like the anger and the grief she showed. And the voice actors who played her seemed really good just from the trailer alone. Because I had shivers. I legit had shivers watching that trailer, and I was just like, I'm sold. Like, she has my heart. I love her. Like, I can't go back. And so, here I am, now, going to play the Witcher series for the first time, all so I can understand the lore, so I can appreciate Ciri more. She did look so fucking good. Ugh, just ignore Ciri. Right? Like, oh my god. Literally, I just keep thinking of that trailer and thinking of Ciri. Like, I can't not think of her. Just chef's kiss. Whoever designed her, whoever voice acted her, chef's kiss. I'm so excited. So, it's gonna be great. I also am excited for, I don't know if you saw the trailer for it, if you watched the Game Awards at all, Sinister. Split Fiction, that looked really cool. Like, 2 female leads that are rivals, and we have to work together into fantasy and sci-fi worlds that we wrote to save the world or whatever. Sign me the fuck up. Like, oh my god. And only one person has to own the game for the co-op. The other person does not have to own it, which is fucking phenomenal. So my friend Matt and I are thinking when it comes out to play it, which I think it comes out March 6th. They already announced the release date. EA did through email, which is insane. I'm happy about it. So, definitely gotta play that come March. I don't know if I'll stream it, because since it's co-op, I don't know if anyone will play that with me on stream. But I'll have to see if a streamer friend will play it with me, if they'd be interested. But, or I'll just play it on my own with Matt. But yeah, I'm so excited for so many games. So many coming out. It's gonna be great. That's honestly why I watched the Game Awards. I did not play, like, almost any of the games that were nominated, so I was just like, I'm just gonna watch for the trailers. Worth it. Worth it. I'm so excited. Alright, let us continue. After seeing the refrain, I think the house could use a bit more stuff in it. What do you say? Want to help me with some shopping? Asked Silas. I'd love to. Nice. I need another pair of hands to haul everything back to the Eastern Hold. The market and the rest is a bunch of stalls gathered around Autry's statue. Most of the items sold are an array of household bits and bobs. Buckets, ropes, rags, and knives. Oh my. That's so random. Buckets, ropes, rags, knives. Okay, this is a stabby bunch. What else could you possibly need, Silas begins walking towards a stall with comments board spinning around to address you. Fallout Show won Best Adaptation, so that was the only real reason I was paying attention to. Fair. I expected it to win. I was just like, come on. Fallout was so good. Like, it did not get me interested in playing the games, I will say, because it just really was not my type of game. But it is my type of show. And the show was really good. And I was just like, there's no way. I feel bad. I don't know her name, the actress's name that was there. She didn't say one word on stage, and I felt so bad. She just, like, stood there so awkwardly, and I'm like, girl, you did amazing. Like, I wish, like, you got to speak a little bit. But, yeah, no, that was pretty cool. Also did not expect Snoop Dogg to perform on stage, which was really funny. It was really good. Ella Purnell, thank you. I'm not good with names in general, especially actors, and I felt so bad I couldn't remember. I mean, I don't even know the dude's name that got up there, but yes, she was so pretty, and I wish she got to say something. And yeah, Snoop Dogg playing was not on my bingo card. Apparently, so I was watching with my friend Matt, and he was watching it through a streamer who was streaming it, and someone commented, and when Snoop Dogg said, like, I was like, Snoop Dogg, we're like, 32 years or whatever, someone in the comments was just like, Snoop Dogg's 32, and I'm just like, bruh. Yeah, he has a full-ass adult son at 32. Okay. But it was just so funny. The whole show was pretty good. I kept forgetting it was the 10-year anniversary because they were like, they kept mentioning it, but I'm like, I don't see any signage, nothing. It didn't look like you were doing anything special for 10 years anniversary. But I mean, it is what it is. It was not bad. It was definitely worth the watch. It was just fun to do, you know. I'm glad I skipped stream for it. Silas goes, you don't mind staying behind while I bargain, do you? She flashes you a big grin and continues on her way. It doesn't take her too long. You see her buy several items and keep her hands in sight while the trader is counting the money. Here, help me carry some. She hands you something rather heavy, rolled in a small rug. What even is this? A whetstone. That's how you keep a blade sharp. You begin making your way to the eastern hold. So, how do you like the refrain? It's a lovely place. You do know that you can visit any time, right? Asked Leatrice. Her cheeks suddenly flush. I'll keep it in mind. With a sudden gasp, Silas points at an open window in the distance on the second floor. Look there. Those are the kitchens of House Qualia. You arch an eyebrow. Dinner is going to be a feast. Hold everything for me, will you? Sure, in broad daylight, Silas. You don't need to take from them. Honestly, I don't really care that Silas steals. I probably should have more morals than this, but it's a game. I don't really give a shit. I'm just gonna be like, in broad daylight, are you sure? Working to the day is much better than getting night gigs. Less bloody. With that cryptic remark, she leaves everything at your feet and jaunts off. You almost expect her to start climbing the nearest wall. She disappears from sight instead. Keeping your eyes on the window, you wait with bated breath until you see her. She makes it look so easy. She knows exactly what to grip and where to put her feet, and in a couple of seconds she's inside. You hear no screams. Good. How is she going to climb back with her hands occupied? She must have done this plenty of times already. When she reappears, she's sitting on the window pane with a basket's handle between her teeth. The climb down is less graceful, but she doesn't slip, and soon enough she approaches you with her bounty high in the air. I was right. Tonight, we feast. Alright, our options are, what did you get? You know exactly how to reach that window. Don't your teeth hurt? That was dangerous, Silas. I'm just gonna ask what you got. What'd you get? Cheese, mutton, and little oranges. She places the basket under your nose. Ah, it smells so good. Silas is eager to return home and guides you to the eastern hold with a brisk pace. I'll take care of what you bought once we arrive. You can dig in. What? Aren't you hungry? Asked Silas. You don't have the heart to tell her that the shadows give you sustenance, not food, so you simply shake your head. You never are, states Silas. As soon as you enter the safe house, she rummages through the basket to find the cheese. It's endearing, especially when she breaks off a piece and offers it to you. Are you sure you don't want some? All right, just a little. She is happy to share everything, but you only take a bit of cheese. It's friable and incredibly salty. While she enjoys the fruits of her labor, if burglary can be called that, you make good on your promise and make the space a little livelier. Do you know how to cook, Silas? She gulps down a bite. Hard to when you don't have a home. You do now. You unroll the whetstone from the rug and place the former on the table, the latter in front of the door. I don't want to get attached to the place. Marinade promised she wouldn't remove you from it. She cuts some of the mutton with her dagger. As long as I'm your bodyguard. How long will her gig last? Hard to say when Silas herself wants to know as little as possible. Okay. Should I be like a little salty, sassy? Is a gig all I am to you? Or should I actually just be like, whatever, once you're done with the gig, what then? I feel like this invites an intimate atmosphere, and I'm curious to what she'll say to this. You know what? We'll ask, because even as a friendship, I'd be like, is a gig all I am? So let's do that. What? Of course not. Not anymore, responds Silas. If anything, you appreciate the honesty. I I'd stick with you even without the pay. We're friends. Given her mercenary nature, that sounds like a testament of your friendship. I like the sound of that. We are. Just want to be sure. I know. Sorry. Alright. I like the sound of that. Right? You leave her to her dinner and resume decorating her space. With a rug at the entrance and some clotheslines, the room feels different already. Warmer. Lived in. All it misses is some flowers. Perhaps you can gift some to her. Aw, we're gonna gift flowers. Once she's done devouring everything, Silas looks around with wide eyes. What do you think? You have a knack for it. Everything looks like it always belonged there. Sudden knocking on the door startles you both. Who's there? Asks Silas. Do you happen to have a spare bucket for me? I live 2 houses down. Just a minute. Silas gives you an apologetic smile and jumps off the chair. One quick visit to the washing room later and she opens the door with the bucket in tow. You'll bring it back, right? Prime Almighty, be my witness. Of course I will. I just need it for a moment, says the neighbor. It's the neighbor that came to visit you at the temple. Why, is your fireplace not on? Do you need some embers? No, it's fine, responds Silas. Are you sure? It's much faster than restarting the fire by yourself. I swear it's fine. After some back and forth, the neighbor leaves and Silas lets out a long huff. I recognized her. She's the one whose cousin died, yeah. I wanted to test the whetstone, but she said she'd be back. I can open the door for you. Thank you. Silas pulls out 3 daggers of various sizes from her pockets. I can't really let her see these and expect her not to run the city guard. What do you need 3 daggers for? Asks Leatrice. The small one is for when you need to be discreet. She unsees the weapon and begins rasping it against the whetstone. The middle one is good for everything. Cutting, scraping, marking. I only need to sharpen the tip of the bigger one, not the blade, since it's for throwing. She points at the dagger secured to your belt. That's one of my spare ones. It was lying around for who knows how long, so it could probably use some work anyway. The work has a certain musicality to it. With quick, precise motions, Silas angles the weapon and drags it over the stone, admiring the result against the light every few strokes. Attuned to your wishes, the shadows alert you to their neighbor's presence beyond the door. You open it just as their knuckles reach it. Oh, you almost scared me, miss. Here's the bucket. Thank you. Say, I don't see the one from the halls with you. She went back there, responds Silas. Some of us were getting worried, you know. It's never a good sign to see them around. But don't tell her I said that. She stands on her tiptoes to look over your shoulder as you block the sight of Silas and her many weapons. Is that a whetstone I hear? I have some knives that need sharpening too. We can be nice. Once we're done, we can lend it to you. Wonderful. Prime watch over you. Once you close the door, Silas shakes her head. Did you just promise her my new whetstone? I was trying to be a good neighbor, responds Leatrice. But you don't live here anymore. She doesn't know that. She groans. You're right. I should be a good neighbor. This one's done. Want to try sharpening one? Yours, maybe? I can try. Show me what to do. Silas pats the seat next to her. It's not hard. You lay the flat of the dagger on the whetstone, then angle it just right, and... She runs the weapons once, twice on the stone. And you do it for the entirety of the blade. You unsheath your dagger and lay it on the whetstone like she did. Silas places her hands on yours and makes you tilt the blade ever so slightly. She is trying her best not to look at you, flushed as she is. Oh my god! This is gonna be so cute. Keep it like this, and start sharpening. After a couple of times, you get into a rhythm. You have never been so close to her. I'm so bad. I honestly should not. Oh, this one has a... I've never seen the harp before. Unless I've just ignored it. Shit. I don't... Okay, I know what I want to do. I know what I should do, and they don't align. I'm gonna steal a glance. I'm gonna end up with no one because I just like flirt with everyone. Maybe that should be this run. Instead of having someone I want to romance, I just flirt with everyone and see what happens. Minus Malik, because he creeps me out. I'm so glad I haven't seen him in a while. Knock on wood. Her lips have the most darling shape and are almost the same color as her cheeks. Your eyes are drawn to her scar, old and faded, yet marked forever on her. When you lift your gaze, your eyes meet hers. She looks away comically fast. You don't have to do that. Do what, stare? I'm sorry, responds Silas. No, look away. Ah, really? Good to know. You have just given her the permission to be brazen, but that has only made her more flustered. Once all the knives have been sharpened, including the throwing one, now with a needle-sharp tip, you are faced with a choice as the sun heads for the horizon. I could spend the night or leave. None of them have a heart though, so I don't think it matters too much. But I'm gonna ask if I spend the night here. Do I mind? Not at all. This will always be your place too. Do you still have a second mattress? It's underneath the other one, but I can move it. She pushes the whetstone aside. I never went back on my offer to teach you how to write. That sounds... She searches for the correct word. Daunting? We can start with something easy like your name. Oh, that doesn't sound bad, responds Silas. You spend the rest of the evening with Silas. Once it's time to retire for the night, she pulls what was once your mattress to its original position. It's like you never left. Good night. Night, Silas. Something pulls your consciousness away from the warm void of respite. When you open your eyes, a shadow greets you, stretched, thin, and pale. In the corner, Silas is curled on her mattress, but her sleep is uneasy. She whimpers and twitches under the soaked sheets. The shadow reaches out to you, begging for your attention. Why are you hurting her? Voiceless, the shadow quivers, then changes its shape. It morphs into a small rowboat with two figures on top, their hands outstretched. They bleed into the sea above. Behold the ancient horror, the mistake, the unwanted. Consumed by grief, it will destroy us all. Siren has found you, and as abyssal in nature as you are, how else would it be able to be shadows to control Silas's shadow? Her skin sheens with sweat, but her teeth are chattering. This is taking a toll on her. Try to talk with the shadow. Why does grief consume you? The shadow shatters, then reforms. What do you mean? Ah! Silas opens her eyes, tears streaking her cheeks, and gasps for air. What's wrong? My throat. It's parched. She wipes her tears away. Shadows bubble under her skin for a moment, violently like a storm at sea, before fading away. Why do I taste salt? I'll bring you some water. Thank you. There's a familiar face by the well, the neighbor that visited you the day before. Oh my, it looks like you just glimpsed the Lady of Dusk. It's Silas. She's... So that's her name. Here, take this. She pulls her filled bucket from the well and hands it to you. Reflexively, you hand her your empty one. Thank you. You don't want to let her kindness go to waste and sprint back to the safe house with the water. Prime Almighty, watch over you, says the neighbor. When you return to Silas and hand her the bucket, she dips her hands into it and begins drinking with desperation. Her hair is glued to her forehead and neck, and the blouse she wore from modesty is so drenched it has turned to sheer. Ah, now I feel better, so she says, yet she is not meeting your eyes. Do you truly? Better? Yes. Good? No. I still feel weird, like I'm made of water. What does that mean? Asked Leatrice. I don't know myself, but if I slammed my hand against the table, I feel like it would splash around instead of hitting it. Alarmed, you poke her arm. Still solid. Good. Promise me you'll avoid the harbor. It's not a coincidence that the nightmare reappeared after going there. She wipes her clammy hands on her pants. I will. Stay here. I will draw you a bath. I can help, says Silas. You look at her trembling hands and tilt your head. Fine, I'll stay here. It takes you several trips to fill the wooden tub. Without a way to heat the water, every bucketful you add makes it colder, but Silas says she doesn't mind. She washes her clothes first and hands them over for you to dry. You stay in the living room alert while she takes a bath, afraid that the siren will take over once again and drown her. Silas survives the bath and is still shivering, but this time it's because of the cold, not because of the monster. Weren't you supposed to accompany Bastion to the halls? Asked Silas. Only if the council agreed to meet. If it did, you should have a letter waiting for you at the refrain. You're letting them wait? For me? Asked Silas. Of course. This is new. This is 100% new. Unless I'm gaslighting myself. Oh, fuck. I do kind of like Silas, though. Marinée is great. And I'm so curious about Marinée, but she is a bit too... I don't know the proper word for what I want to say. Fuck. Fuck me. I'm just gonna say this. Because I haven't had a heart with Marinée yet. So I wonder if I just have high enough approval with Silas and just not Marinée yet. I don't know. I'm gonna say you matter me. In the blink, her cheeks turn bright red. Oh. Go. I'll stay put today. Maybe lend the whetstone to the neighbor. Please take care, responds Leatrice. I will. As much as it pains you to admit it, some distance from you might be good. The siren was using her shadow to communicate with you, after all. After wishing her farewell, you leave the safe house and head towards the refrain with purpose. Once you open the door to your room, you spot a familiar envelope lying on the floor, slipped on the entrance. The wax seal on the envelope lacks the usual shimmer. No smoke envelops you when you open it. No sweet scent dazzles you. An empty, elegantly penned letter waits you inside. My dear friend, I am third of the 22, or should I say 21 plus 1? For the council to convene, 5 must be in agreement. I am exalted in success, for I have fulfilled your wish and the city's. The council will convene today at the 14th hour. Please ensure that the dockmaster is outside the halls before then. Always yours, Marinette. You release the breath you were holding. Exalted in success is indeed a perfect way to describe Marinette. There's no guarantee that the halls will assist you in finding the siren, but you trust the dockmaster will make his case successfully. With several hours left before the 14th ring of the bells, you have time to spend. Taking a bath of your own sounds like a wonderful idea. Once the sun has dried your hair, you leave for the harbor. You haven't mastered the alleys like Silas has. The well-trafficked main streets take you longer, but also let you catch a glimpse of life in the city. A sprinting dog with a lolling tongue and her young, delighted owner overtake you, all shrill giggles and happy barks. Some streets over, you spot a couple philandering against the lip of a well. You look away and quicken your pace. Close enough to the sea to smell the brine, you are greeted by an old man sitting outside his home. A blanket falls straight from the chair, concealing stumps. These are the streets whose life the abyss wants to drown in blood. Dread dawns upon you, as overwhelming as it is painful. You touch your cheek and find it wet. Despite their holy clothes, despite their ailments, despite the promise of death hanging over their heads, those around you are life unbridled. And you masquerade as them, extend them kindness despite knowing you are the harbinger of the darkest hour. A sigh escapes your lips, a moment of weakness before you steel yourself. You don't even know what the darkest hour is. Perhaps it isn't as world-shattering as you think. Enough foolishness, Leatrice. You focus on the present, on the now, on the siren terrorizing the city, and you march on. You arrive at the harbor well in advance, knowing that you will have to seek the dockmaster among the mariners. The usual briny smell of the docks is made more bearable by a nearby food stall, where chickpeas sizzle in oil. It has attracted quite the crowd. Miss, what are you doing here? Asks the sailor. A familiar face splits from the group to approach you. It's the sailor that visited you about the Lady of Dreams. I'm looking for the dockmaster. The shadow he casts is so eager to reach out for you that it almost detaches from its owner. How come? I need to take him to the halls. I'm not sure I'm allowed to say. Have you seen him around? He needs to go somewhere with me. I'm gonna be honest. I don't see what hiding it will do. Maybe he won't spend his hard-earned money on a, scam artist. I need to take him to the halls. The halls? Don't tell me that! His cry attracts the attention of the group behind him. He turns on his heels, ready to say something, then catches himself. We don't want him to be late, do we? He's over there by the Wariti galley. Red flag with the crescent. Can't miss it. Thank you. You haven't even taken one step before he's boasting to the group about being right about the rumors. The galley is a long, oared vessel heavy with sailors. Several planks allow them to unload the ship's cargo. Barrels with an earthly herbal scent whose lids are stained orange. Kai! Hey, bud, stop it. On top of the ship, with his jacket billowing in the marine breeze, is the dockmaster. He's engrossed in conversation with the Wariti captain, an equally portly man in colorful robes. None of these sailors are affected by the siren. Good. Just as your thoughts turn to the monster, Bastion's shadow spills over the galley side with a spasm to reach out to you. Your own shadow is as much of an extension of you as your own hand. It stretches to meet it, and when they touch, Bastion jolts suddenly startled. The Wariti captain laughs, giving the dockmaster a chance to look around and spot you. You don't need to speak the language to know that Bastion is taking his leave. He squeezes past the sailor and reaches your side. Tell me you bring me good news, says Bastion. I do. The council will convene at the 14th hour. The invisible weight that was dragging his shoulders down is lifted with a sigh of relief. He raises his head to the sky, to the sun that watches over the city, and smiles. Ladies, bless those people. They can see reason, unlike the Citadel. Are you ready to leave? Of course. Bastian knows the way much better than you do, and you let him take the lead. You know, miss, I have the feeling I've seen you somewhere before. Really? Where? Well, I don't leave the harbor very often. It must have been there. I don't imagine you remember any details, asked Leatrice. I'm afraid not. Mine's just a feeling. The Dockmaster shudders as soon as the halls and their magical square come into sight. I'm not looking forward to this visit. Have you already been? Asked Leatrice. A couple of times to discuss works on the harbor. The rifle is sliced by a figure that steps aside, completely dry. Ascanio. He's as handsome and dour as you remember him to be. Good morning. Morning. You're in a peculiarly good mood, said Ascanio. I hope you won't mind our early arrival, said Bastian. On the contrary, I commend you for it. 'Tis not wise to make the council wait. Dockmaster traces the symbol of the prime in the air and steps forward. May the prime indeed grant you the gift of the gab. Leatrice? Asked Ascanio. You perk up once he mentions your name. You can enter if you wish, but you won't be allowed to stand by the council. I'm curious as fuck. Oh, why is my model acting like that? There we go. That was weird. It got stuck for no reason. That's okay. Fixed it. Alright, we're gonna go with, because I'm too curious about the halls. The gurgling waterfall hides the pristine wall from sight. It springs from the ceilings and magically disappears on the floor. The first step is purification. Bastian's the first to step inside. After you. Just like the time before, you steel yourself and walk into the stream. For a moment, nothingness envelops you. The void around you sizzles with energy, sharp and jagged like a glass shard. Your presence displaces enough power to shatter a building, yet everything stays intact. Yeah, buddy? No? What do you want to do? When you open your eyes, a familiar sight of a golden wheat field invades your perception. Welcome to the field of ignorance. Draped in splendor as usual, Marinette curtsies to welcome you. Oh, how she beholds you, how her eyes treasure you. Welcome, transgressor. I'm such an asshole. Bastian tips an invisible hat, visibly uncomfortable with the pageantry. Where's Ascanio? Asked Marinette. Right here. He appears at your side. I will ensure our guest doesn't wander around. There goes my bud. I wouldn't dare. Size him up. Would it be able to stop you? I won't. I wouldn't dare. Sir Bastian, this way, please. She gestures towards the gentle slope that leads to the gnarled olive tree. I'll see you soon, hopefully with some good news. They only take a couple of steps before disappearing from sight. You're left alone with Ascanio, whose face you can call familiar, if not friendly. How come watching over guests falls upon you? Asked Leatrice. 'Tis a natural extension of my duties as keeper of the refrain. You sound thrilled about it. He snickers. I sure do. The golden wheat parts as you step forward. From a distance, Ascanio follows you. Are we inside or outside? Asked Leatrice. Both and neither. How helpful. Why does purification, the first step, lead to ignorance? Asked Leatrice. The initiate knows not of the ways of the aether, for magic is simply aether transmuted through will. What is the aether exactly? Many have sought an answer to that question. Of the many theories that circulate, I personally subscribe to the one that considers the aether a fifth element, responds Ascanio. Are you allowed to reveal all this to me? I have shared no secrets with you, only facts. These are 100% new. These were not there before. I'm just gonna... Oh, shit, I'm such an asshole. I want to flirt with everyone. I'm just gonna accept his answer. I can't flirt with any men this time, or I gotta... I'm so fucked. Accept his answer. Silence falls between you. In the distance, a group of young mages blazes into view, all chatter and giggles. They pay you no mind and cross the wheat field before disappearing from view. Answer me truthfully. Why am I allowed inside again? Marinette confessed to having exchanged information about you for her freedom, but how much did she reveal exactly? Ascanio's answer comes after a couple seconds of silence. I thought it would be improper for you to wait outside by yourself. Aww! See? He could be a sweetie. That's not what you expected. You could have come outside to keep me company. Unlike Marinette, I respect the bounds placed upon me by the halls. Is he not allowed outside? There are no bells to mark the passage of time, no sun in the sky, no birds singing overhead. Buried by this sterility, the abyss's own tune is completely absent. Bask in the soulless warmth. You miss the feeling of the sunrise touching your cheeks, of the clouds offering shelter from the scorching heat. You said magic is transmutation of the aether, but this field is nothing of the sort. It's an illusion. Is he impressed or simply surprised? You can't tell. Ironic, isn't it, that magic now forbidden has shaped its very cradle? The wheat appears solid underneath your touch. Forbidden? 'Tis forbidden for magic to addle the senses. The art to do so has been lost. I can't say much more on the matter. Your fingers close around an ear and pluck it. There's no satisfaction in ripping it out of the soil. No resistance, no give. The wheat disappears in your hands while staying at the same time, firmly planted to the ground. Nothing works as it should. The rules of nature are obeyed only at a glance. Do you know why the council is convenient? A siren, I have been told, has been terrorizing the seas. What an ominous sign. So close to the solstice, too. Marinette seemed convinced the council would agree to help. If the dockmaster can pay their price. He's the picture of dignity when he addresses you, yet his gaze lingers on you. Isn't the presence of a monster a dire enough situation? Does it not warrant an exception to the rule? That is not for me to decide, responds Ascanio. Silence falls between you once again, but this time you don't feel the need to break it. You wade through the wheat and let its magic beguile you, followed by his watchful gaze. They return. Marinette and Bastien are descending the slope, too far away for you to gauge their body language. I won't intrude on your reunion. Take care. Your eyes lock with his through the tinted lenses of his spectacles. When you blink, he's gone. You sprint towards the dockmaster and your friend, meeting them at the base of the hill. Bastien looks livelier than before, and a pleased smile illuminates Marinette's face. And? What did the council say? Miss Marinette will help pinpoint the location of the siren, responds Bastien. The other members suggested I intervene directly, in the spirit of discretion, of course. I trust you will accompany me, Leatrice? But of course! I will arrange for the ship to depart in 2 days. Not tomorrow, asked Leatrice. It needs a crew of mariners who know the risk and will swear to secrecy. Not the sort of thing you can arrange on a whim. I will see you then, responds Marinette. Prime be with you, miss. Marinette curtsies to him and makes a grand gesture with her arm, one that makes Bastien disappear from sight. The wheat parts as Marinette marches through it. Unfortunately, my friend, I must return to the council. May we soon celebrate the end of the mistake of the sea. She repeats the gesture. You are, yet you are not. The abyss whispers words you cannot understand, broken by magic and stitched back together wrongly. You are suddenly outside the halls with Bastien, who finally relaxes his posture and cracks his neck. I've long had my sea legs, but this waterfall, this almost gets me. His kind smile is ruined by his shadow. It comes alive with a convulsion while he is none the wiser. What is the council like? Asks Leatrice. 'Tis a spectacle of robes and hoods, made to stir like their pomp. The sun is milder now that the evening is approaching. It's time for me to return to the harbor. I don't even want to know what those rascals have been up to in my absence. Take care. He greets you as usual by tipping a hat that's not there, probably an old habit, and heads off. Idleness is forced upon you. You head for the Temple of Dawn, rejecting it. There's someone waiting for you outside the temple. I knew I'd find you here. How did it go, the meeting with the halls? Asked the sailor. Did they agree to help? Not so loud, you don't want Bastien to get in trouble. I wasn't allowed to join. Glare at him. I'm not sure I'm allowed to tell you. I'm gonna say not so loud. Not so loud? You don't want to get Bastien to get in trouble. Oh, shite. A priest nearby glares at him. Lady of Dawn, forgive me for soiling your home. Look, one of my mates tried to drown himself. Wasn't himself when we pulled him out. He's suddenly serious. And when I look at water, I feel its call. It wants me to jump in. Miss, I fear for my life. We all do. Have faith in the Dockmaster. He's doing all he can to help you, even going against the Citadel's wishes. If those nobles dare lay a finger on him... But thank you, miss. You put my heart at ease. May Dawn watch over you. He bows to you and leaves, successful in his ambush. Can you truly blame him? You are not plagued by those nightmares as he is. You take your seat at the usual counter and prepare sheets of paper, inkpots, and a quill. Brother Mattia, who usually offers words of encouragement or some assistance, is nowhere to be found. The other priests gently guide people to your table, but you are a stranger to them. Several are funerary notices for the lands of Lord Rizzo. The farmers have not stopped dying. It's only after several hours that Brother Mattia walks through the gates of the temple with the deepest frown you have ever seen on him. A priestess tries to exchange a word with him. Mattia dismisses her and disappears into one of the doors that lead to the private area of the temple. I'm gonna follow him. You leave your table to follow him. Brother? What? Responds Brother Mattia. Oh, Leatrice, it's you. Forgive me. Today has been trying. Can I do anything to help? No. Apologies. I didn't want to be so harsh. He musters a smile. I'm not good company when I'm in such a terrible mood. Why don't you go back to the table? People might be waiting. He gives you a curt nod and marches towards the closest door. I'll see you when you close. Once it's evening, you tidy your counter and Brother Mattia approaches you like he promised he would. Thank you for today, Leatrice, and sorry again for being short with you. He gives you your salary. Do you feel a bit better? I wish I did. He pats you on the shoulder. Take care on the way home. Why can't I help with both issues? I got time on my hands. You're back at the refrain with your mood soured. Not even the tisane you brewed to ease your mind is helping.
Perhaps I should let it steep more.
You take the bundle of daisies and dunk them back into the cup. Oh, I forgot the ad was starting. I'm gonna BRB. My bad. I'm gonna take a break. I gotta feed the cats. They're mad at me. I'm late for second breakfast, so I'm gonna be right back, and I will see you all soon. Sorry for the delay. As I was feeding the cats, I realized I had to use the restroom, and so it just devolved from there. But I'm back. And hopefully we can get our character feeling better, and hopefully we can take care of the sirens. I plan on going like a little bit longer today, just because I haven't streamed in a bit, and I'm really having fun with this game. Like, I don't want to stop. I might just start a second playthrough to play off stream. Make different choices. I don't know. Actually, probably not, because I don't want to get tired of this too. I just, like, it's so good, and the art's so pretty. Like, how often do you see pretty art like this? Like, ugh, I love it. It's then that you hear footsteps as blah, 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 blah. It's then that you hear footsteps outside your door, because I can read. I guess. The footsteps continue down the hallway and are followed by the creaking sound of a door opening.
I thought I was alone in here.
You raise your head to the ceiling. They're faint, but you can hear thumps coming from above you. That's where the belfry is. You didn't know it could be accessed. Curiosity gets the better of you. Eager to investigate, you put on your boots and leave your room. One of the doors at the end of the hallway lies ajar, and the smell of summer escapes through it. Oh my god, don't do this to me! Ugh, bathed in the moonlight. Ascanio is sitting on the belfry's railing. What a fine figure he cuts against the night sky. Goddamn. Nice place you have here. What a beautiful view. What are you doing here? Am I bothering you? I want to say what a beautiful view.
What a beautiful view.
Fiorelia is a cluster of lights that reflects on the waves like fireflies.
Beautiful indeed.
As you lean against one of the arches, a spark of magic flickers in his hand, and his eyes move from the field of rooftops that rolls towards the sea to you.
You are troubled.
How can you tell?
You must think very little of me if you expect me not to notice.
Mine is only about a foul mood. Hardly anything of concern.
If the view does not bring you solace, some amusement could.
Oh?
What is regret?
Is this question his idea of amusement?
I might be the wrong person to ask.
And why is that?
Your past is limited, for you came into being so recently, but you can't tell him that without revealing that you are the Abyss. I'll say I don't have any
How
regrets.
fortunate.
I take it that you have several.
My regrets are more numerous than the stars in the sky.
Aww. Why? What's wrong? Countless numbers of them gleam around the moon, brilliant like gems. Are your regrets as beautiful as the stars? Countless regrets at your age?
Why would you call them beautiful? They pierce my heart like swords. Others ache like a bruise. It's hard to feel joy when it's surrounded by torture.
That sounds quite traumatic, don't you think? Yet by your mission, you still feel joy. Torture truly? I misspoke.
Yet, by your admission, you still feel joy.
It is fleeting. A memory of warmth. A feeling I recognize, but can only imitate.
I have a hard time believing that.
Believe what you will. I'm not here to convince you of anything.
A breeze carries the smell of the sea to the belfry.
It wasn't my intention to be harsh. Marinette did tell me you lost your memories. That makes me even more interested in your idea of regret. What is it to you?
It's a sign you
Or a
care.
poison. Recurring. Addictive. Known. Comforting.
What a way to put it.
The corner of his mouth curls upwards in a mirthless smirk.
I will let you be the judge of one of my biggest regrets. One that still clouds my heart to this day. I am bound now to the rules of the halls, but that wasn't always the case. Unlike the other members, I have spent most of my life outside its gilded walls.
Oh?
How come?
I have always preferred manipulating the ether through alchemy rather than magic.
His breath catches.
But when I buried my wife and our little girl, I resigned myself to the yoke of the halls.
No! What? I did not expect this kind of backstory. He had a wife and daughter? No! Ah, shit. I like tragic characters. Oh my god. Bro, I did not expect that. I'm in shock. I needed to take a sip of water. I need to, like, rebalance myself. Rebalance my humors. That's crazy. All right.
You were married? Had a child?
The moonlight shines on his tears.
I have nothing of them left. I cannot steal their likeness from time with a portrait or a lock of hair. Not anymore. Even my memory of them fades with each passing day, eroded bit by the present.
The light in his hand flickers.
I survived them both. This is my biggest regret.
Oh. Don't say that.
You know they wouldn't want you to join them. I have never met them, yet I'm certain of it.
I wish I could say you are wrong.
But you are not.
If only I could return the sands of time to their cursed hourglass.
Nobody can. Unamused, he looks away.
Thank you for telling me about them.
You are the first to ever know.
Truly.
I'm gonna ask. Maybe talking to them will make him feel better? I don't know.
Marla used to love
See, he
singing.
approves.
She used to serenade our chickens while fetching the eggs. You know, I miss the sound of her voice.
That sounds like his wife. He wipes the tears away.
Our little Tessa. She had the cutest dimples. For her birthday, she demanded we invite the moon for dinner.
Aww. You smile at the tender memory. He falls silent, lost in thought. Death has taken much from him and nothing from you. For the moment.
I forgot to ask. Did the council agree to aid the dockmaster?
They did. Marinette will learn of the location of the siren in 2 days.
You sound displeased.
The more we wait, the more the siren's nightmares spread. Lured by them, some of the mariners have already tried to drown themselves.
I wonder what made the monster awaken.
You have a sinking feeling it might have been roused by one of the people that slew themselves for you.
We will know soon enough, I suppose.
He throws one last glance at the rooftops.
I have much to do tomorrow. Thank you for lending me your ear. I enjoyed our talk.
So did I. His handsome smile is reserved for you. Is there still a place in his heart for someone else, you wonder? Oh my god! He gestures towards the stairs. You both leave the belfry, and he locks the door once you are back in the hallway.
Farewell.
Have a pleasant night.
He nods to you and takes the stairs down, leaving you to the quiet of your own room. How'd they die? I want to know that, but that's like such a bad question to ask. Its gifts have been taken, perverted, morphed. What are you talking about? Asked Leatrice. Choked, its song cannot be heard. Is this about the halls? To give and never take, embrace all and reject none is one of its mysteries. What does it mean? Embrace and reject? All are embraced in their last moment. All return to the abyss. What does this have to do with the halls? You receive no answer. The first light of morning pulls you from your slumber into consciousness. You will board the ship with Marinette to find the location of Siren tomorrow. Ugh. Idleness is forced upon you by mortals and their limitations, but you won't let it foul your mood. After a bath, you are ready to head out. You haven't seen Malik in a while. To the heart, then. No! I don't want to go! Kicks feet, upset. The wind picks up and caresses your cheek. It's warm. I have been meaning to talk to you for some time, Herald of the Darkest Hour. Carried by the wind, a voice wraps around you. Who are you? How do you know who I am? Asked Leatrice. Why, people know me as Slug. But Butcher, not my name, I beg you. You may call me Shiroko. It's a name you recognize, one Malik, the shopkeeper, mentioned. Shiroko is one of the Javadian Four Winds. What do you want from me? Come to Malik's Hand of Piety. I shall see you there. Fear not, for my intention is to talk. The wind picks up and makes your hair dance in front of your face. He is gone. Oh, great. We have a deity coming to talk to us. This is great. With a knot in your stomach, you head for Malik's shop. Questions pile up in your mind, but you steel yourself and press on. The Hand of Piety is significantly less dusty than you remember. Good morning, says Malik. Malik rises from the counter to greet you with a smile. There's no sign of Shiroko in the shop. I haven't seen you in some time. The way he drinks in the sight of you makes your cheeks feel hotter, but then his smile wanes. glad to see you're all right. You were in my dreams again, and... Dreams or nightmares, asked Leatrice. You decide. I saw you tend to a flower whose roots were bare, and instead of burrowing into the soil, they were outstretched above it. These roots, they were crying out a name, but I forgot. Michaela? All around Malik, the shadows come alive. They drip from the walls, slither over the heavy cabinets, crawl, and twist all around him. Those are not dreams, but visions, said Shiroko. Oh, thank God. Malik's eyes turn pitch black. He sways, about to fall, when his shadow takes the shape of an elegantly dressed man. He catches the unconscious Malik before the fall and makes him sit, slumped over the counter. What are you doing to him? Please, do not be alarmed. I would never harm one of my chosen. Malik is taking a rest, that's all. Golden flowers are embroidered on Shiroka's garbs, the same flowers Malik carved on his own arm. His eyes, they are violet, just like yours. What is a god doing in my presence? I am only a god to the mortals. To you, Herald of the Darkest Hour, I am a peer. I will be, once you embrace your mandate. Despite his accent, he speaks fluently, if formally. Long hair frames his face, and it seems to move in a breeze you do not feel yourself. Questions stir in your heart. Do ask. Are all the Four Winds envoys? Envoy, that is the word you use. Yes. 4 we are, just as 4 are the consuls of Anisada. 4 are the courts that rule Thea, and 4 are the titans that command Illyria from their cloud-crowned peak. They are all envoys? Unfortunately, or fortunately, you could argue, my brothers and sister cannot leave our cradle behind with this ease of mine. Brothers and sister? Are they related to you by blood or choice? Necessity turned to choice. How earnest. How is Malik one of your chosen? He is mine through a bond of blood he himself renewed. He points at the scar that splits Malik's face. When death beckoned him, I interceded. When he returned to our cradle, he pledged himself to me, becoming one of my chosen. What does it mean to become your chosen? Asked Leatrice. I bind to me those eager to scatter to the winds and reach the far ends of the world, for I travel with them. I have seen cities of ice and palaces of jade. With my chosen, I have climbed the tallest peaks and plunged into the depths of the earth, where creatures have no eyes and make no sounds. Have you always been with Malik? His quiet life has never been one I sought to experience until he voyaged back to Caerlease and met you. Do Autry and Alphion know of you? I do not have many chosen in Caerlease, and none have ever stood close to the minstrel or the vagrant. They might have never met, but he does know of them. He reaches out for the compass rose on the counter and touches the gold embossing that points to the southeast. Envoys are brought to this world to lead their people as rulers and gods. Why is it not the case here in Caerlease? The people here worship the goddess. Thus you rightly place the blame upon the prodigal one. That name! Do you know who that is, the prodigal one? 4 we are, 4 you are. He slowly raises 4 fingers. The prodigal one who revels in deception, the admiral whose sacrifice spared the city, the handsome minstrel who rejects his fate in you. From most venerable to the youngest. Can you take me to them? Do you know where they are? I'm afraid I cannot do that. He looks at his feet. You follow his gaze and see that he's stepping in Malik's shadow. I am bound to my chosen. I gave my word I would never stray from the shadow while inside the city walls. They have greatly expanded in these past centuries. Who did you give your word to? He grins. To the very one you wish to harm, of course. The affairs of Caerlease are of little concern to me, thus prodigal one and enemy can be met in friendship. What is the darkest hour I will bring forth? I can only guess. His eyes trail off for a moment. There will be much weeping and gnashing of teeth once darkness sweeps across the land, but does the night not offer relief after the sun's merciless light beats over the fields? He speaks in riddles just like the abyss. You hide while the ladies shine upon the city, but behold, I am proof your future will be different, should you embrace it. His arms part as he shows you his magnificence. To the mortals we are gods. How would the people of Caerlease react if you stopped concealing your powers? Would they be in awe, or would they flee in fear? And would that attract the ire of the prodigal one? You are torn what to do. May this uncertainty of yours clear soon. I am to take my leave. Before you go, thank you. Thank you for satisfying my curiosity. I see now why you haunt Malik's dreams with such passion. Ugh, stop it! Oh my god, why does my camera is acting funky today? Let me fix this. Let me move this over. Hope this fixes soon, because I got plans for my model. He returns to your farewell in his native tongue and disappears. The shadows that were clinging to Malik retract and he stirs. Ah, my neck. With a pained frown, Malik comes back to his senses and massages his nape. Leatrice, what? When did I fall asleep? I found you like this. It pains you to lie to him, but making an enemy of Shiroko sounds like a terrible idea. How strange. I've never been one for naps, especially not while working. The door opens right in that moment, and a family streams in, their arms heavy with belongings. Just a moment. He peers into your eyes and raptured by the sight of you. Time stretches blissfully as his yearning becomes apparent. Oh god. I was hoping I'd see you again. Perhaps you could come another time after the shop is closed? Give a non-committal answer. I see. Thank you again for tending to me. Farewell. Farewell, Malik. You leave him to the patrons and step outside. The city awaits you. That night, the Abyss visits you in your slumber once more. Just as the winds blow in Banu Javadar, the seasons change courts in Thea, the Titans war in Illyria, the consuls win favors in Aniseda. Shiroko said that they are all envoys. Yes, gods to the mortals, revered and worshipped just as the Abyss is. Everywhere but in treacherous Karalis. And that is because of the Prodigal One and their false son. I see. So one of us envoys decided to become a god all on their own and didn't want the others involved. And interesting. Interesting. As you're dressing yourself, a pebble hits your window. You adjust your sleeves and look down into the courtyard. Silas is there. Wave to her. She beckons you to come outside, then a wince as has her holding her own arm. There's a bandage around it. What the fuck happened to Silas? You take your cloak and head out. Good morning. What happened? I got unlucky. Don't worry, it's nothing serious. You got unlucky? Yep. It seems she doesn't want to talk about it. Also, sorry for disappearing. I want to stay away from the harbor for a while and got a little side job. But I'm back on bodyguarding duties now. Seeing her in pain makes her heart heavy. You tell her as much. I don't like to see you in pain. I feel it as if it was my own. Her cheeks are splashed with shyness. Yet, I don't know what to say to that. You reach out for her arm, but stop before you can touch her. She takes your hand and gives it a little squeeze. But, thank you. Her tender smile is a secret for your eyes only. You care about me. Of course I do, responds Leatrice. You tell her everything she missed, how the halls agree to help, how Marinette will lead the expedition to find the siren. Silas whistles. The mist, getting her hands dirty? I'd almost like to see it. You decide to wait for her in the courtyard. As bells toll all over Karalis, making the start of the working day, Marinette emerges from the street. Silas, you're here. Where else am I supposed to be? Asks Silas. Silas tries to cross her arms. The mistake makes her grind her teeth. Had I known you'd come, I would have brought something. Marinette decided to ignore her injury. So, you're going siren hunting, miss. Is that going to add a new title to your list? What is it to you? Asked Marinette. Just trying to make some conversation. Before said conversation devolves into an argument, you urge them to head off. Okay, so I think that's part of the reason why I don't like Marinette. Like, it's obvious they both don't like each other, and Silas is not absolved from the argument, per se. But I don't think it's right for Marinette to judge Silas on her profession when she knows little of the outside world. Like, she herself has said that, and she's just like, Silas is a thief. She's not deserving of, like, kindness or anything. And I'm like, that's not... I mean, is what Silas is doing right? Not necessarily, but, like... It's not like she's doing it with malicious intent for the most part. It's like, Silas doesn't even have a home. She can't afford one. Like, it's just... I feel like Marinette is unfair sometimes. And Silas is too, but Silas acknowledges it and, like, will correct herself sometimes from what I've seen. And Marinette just doesn't. And that's why it's just like, I like Marinette. I just wish she was more open-minded She's open-minded about us, but we're magic incarnate, so of course she's open about us. I'm surprised she doesn't resent us for what her mentor did. It's all very interesting. Anyway, sorry, let me continue. The smell of the harbor today carries a complex herbal sweetness to it. Silas sniffs the air loudly. Do you smell this? Spices, expensive ones, if they manage to overpower the stink of rotting fish. Unwholesome intentions, how novel, responds Marinette. Yeah, well, Silas points at the bandages wrapped around her arm. Not today. I'm supposed to be resting. I'll help you find Bastion and cheer for you from land. It shouldn't be too hard to find him. He should be at the docks with the vessel he prepared for us. Excuse me, Mrs.? You're approached by a sailor that makes a show of taking off his hat and bowing to all three of you. The dockmaster would like to have a word with you. There goes me helping you find him. The robed people talking with Bastion appear to be Javadian merchants. When they notice you looking at the group, they quickly finish their business with the dockmaster. Those Javadians and their winds, responds Bastion. Deep shadows dance over Bastion's face, making his tired eyes appear sunken. His own shadow spills and crashes towards yours with like a violent tide. They had to make sure that my moody weather excuse was that an excuse, because their Shiroka could never. So as long as they stay safe, responds Leatrice. Word has gotten to them that I visited the halls. I was planning on having you go to La Marina and board a vessel there, but if everybody already knows, what's the point? He gestures towards a small vessel moored on the nearby dock. Here it is. Here's where we part ways. May the Lady of Dawn watch over you and not make the boat capsize and not make you drown and not... Do you really think I would let that happen? Asked Marinette. We'll be fine, responds Leatrice. Silas traces the symbol of the Lady of Dawn in the air over you. I forgot that Silas is so religious. That's going to be awkward when I tell her I'm supposed to be one of the new gods. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. How would that work if I accept my destiny? Like, would I be able to be with Silas? Am I immortal? I mean, I would assume so if Autry is, like, immortal. She's lived for so long. Huh. So, like, the only viable... Maybe she'll worship you. Sinister stuff. For once I'm being all innocent, and there you go. You know what? I wouldn't mind a little bit of worship from Silas. But... I'm just thinking I always think long term and like realistic with my love interest in games. And I'm just like, well, the only one it would realistically work out with is Alphion, because he's also an envoy. Malik may be tied to an envoy, but he's just tied to one. So he'll still grow old and die. So will Silas, so will Marinette, so will... Ah, shit, what's another? Spectacle dude. I already forget his name. I feel so bad. So, like... Interesting. God, Sinister. Making me blush. Thank God I have a model now. Imagining so many different things I should not be imagining. I have no business doing so. Good luck, Go Silas. You keep your breath steady when you walk the makeshift gangway with Marinette. Bastion accompanies you to the deck. Oh my god, Sinisters. One last check won't hurt, says Bastion. He begins testing the knots that keep the sail in the mast. It seems he wants to talk to you. Seasickness won't make the voyage pleasant. Keep your eyes steady on the isle. Will do. A yell comes from the docks in a language you don't understand. Bastion looks across the horizon. An enormous ship is almost past the Fiorella lighthouse, then shouts something back. Why don't those Lestinians shove their Karax into someone else's haven? Duty calls. Primal might be with you. As soon as he leaves, the gangway is pulled on deck, knots are untied, the mast creaks, and a song comes from the hold as the oars begin to move. The ship moves slowly at first. Next to you, Marinette is the picture of composure, were it not for her clenched jaw. Once you're out of the haven, the sails unfurl with the morning wind filling them. The vessel slices through the waves. The voyage won't take long. Underneath you, punctuated by the oars, the sailors chanty continues. The foul smell of the haven is replaced by the freshness of the open sea. Are you nervous? Eager, responds Marinette. Eager? Eager to prove myself and aid the city, and this time without the warden's intervention. This fervor is such a stark contrast to her usual composure, it's intriguing. Before you approach the siren, a word. I suspect the creature is of the abyss. I suspect it is much of the same given your involvement. Did your mentor's journals not mention the monster at all? Asks Leatrice. She shakes her head. He was not privy to all the secrets of the coven, so enamored as he was with his own. You sail past the Lestinian Carac that Bastien complained about and maneuver around the Fiorella. The waves reflect the mild morning sun, turning them white-hot and painful on your eyes. We have arrived, said the captain. Already? The oars crash against the waves on one side only and turn the ship against the wind. Sails down! Set the anchor! It suddenly becomes busy around you as ropes fling from the mast. Underneath you, the anchor's heavy chain begins its descent. Without its momentum, the ship sways gently with the waves. A few faces poke out from the hull, flushed from the heavy labor. With all eyes on her, Marinette takes a step forward. Behold. Her arms move like a dance. The air grows thin, emptied of the aether. What the? All around the ship, the sea stills like a mirror. The scarce clouds in the sky find their twins in the reflection. Reveling in the awe of her audience, Marinette smirks and approaches the railing. Water rises from the sea, unnaturally calm and mercurial in consistency. It forms steps that Marinette descends. Not even her feet disturb the reflective stillness of the water. She looks as if she belongs to a dream, dancing on a mirror, yet what your eyes see is true. She crouches down, elegant as ever, and touches the water with her fingertips. Her eyes are closed. She then shakes her head, stands, and resumes walking. My kids will never believe me when I tell them. Can all mages do this? Asks the sailor. I don't believe so. But you're not sure. Marinette crouches again and dips her fingers into the mirror like water. She's not finding the siren, is she? It will take some time. I just hope the thing doesn't attack us. Without buildings or trees to provide shade, the sun scorches your skin even in the morning. Bells toll in the distant Fiorella. How long have you been here? Marinette's arms move again in a gentle motion before she slams her fist on the still water surface without disturbing it. The mirror should have shattered. Your mind perceives what your eyes cannot see. Wings, a blue sky, a solid mass, and a crown of teeth and soft tendrils. Oh my god, it's voiced? Oh, it's gonna be good.
Who are you?
I do not know.
Oh?
Behold, the ancient horror, the mistake, the unwanted. I wish to know. Consumed by grief, it will destroy us all.
You're behind the nightmares and the attacks on the ships.
Ships, an unknown.
I'm standing on one.
You have taught me. Thank you.
I'm like...
But why attack the ships?
What is the purpose of a ship?
It carries people and goods across the waters, from land to land.
Attack. Violence. Have I been undesirable to ships?
Yes, and the nightmares.
Nightmare.
Is this thing not causing the nightmares?
The visions you have sent during the night.
Visions.
Is this creature toying with you, or does it really not understand what you are saying?
You took over their shadows. The shadows of the sailors.
Are sailors not people?
Its cruelty is caused by innocence. There is intelligence behind its words, marred by innocence. By ignorance, it simply does not know. Yet. Marinette's voice is trying to reach you. How strange, it sounds drowned by water.
Will you give me a name? desire
I now
one,
kind of feel bad for it.
and I am
I'm such a softie.
one.
I should never be a leader of any kind of thing because I would get us all killed just because I'm way too nice.
Wake up!
Waves crash around all around you, making the boat sway. You are on your knees and tears fill your eyes. There's so much water in you, so much it's overflowing. Kneeled beside you, Marinee is pulling you away from the ship's rails.
Marinee, you brought me back.
Your hair is slick with sweat.
I heard some yells and came back to the ship. You were not yourself.
The sailors around you look at you with distrust and fear.
I spoke with the siren. I gave it a name.
You spoke with it.
Fuck yeah, I did! It's a creature willing to learn. It could not tell me much. It's a monster. Describe to her.
It's a creature willing to learn.
Best you save the details for when we're back.
She stands up and fixes her dress.
We depart.
Sailors return to their posts. Sails are hoisted back and the anchor is dragged back on board. Nobody meets your eyes. She holds out her hand. You pull yourself upright on your own.
My hand is too clammy for any holding.
Fair enough.
The journey back seems even shorter. The sailors do their best to ignore you and seem most relieved when you step onto the gangway to the docks. There is no sign of Silas. I was so close! The rose is not far away, is it? Let us go there. The noise will shield us from unwelcome ears. Are you not reporting to the dockmaster? Not before I know what we are to do with the siren. Your thoughts strip away from you like rain. Despite regaining control of your body, it still seems to act on its own. Your legs are following Marinee, but are you the one moving them? The strong scent of the rose, that of the wine of smoked meat, of sweat, washes away your insecurities like driftwood. The music hanging in the air comes to an abrupt halt as you hear a string snap. Leatrice! Alpheon frets to your side, much to the surprise of Marinee, who puts herself between you two. This is not the time for philandering, minstrel. My friend is indisposed. First of all, I have a name, Alpheon. And second, the glow of the abyss darkens his features. Enthralled by his power, Marinee gaspes. It only lasts a moment. When her mind is her own again, she sees Alpheon instead of simply looking at him. An envoy, 2 of them. Autry, that Autry? What happened to secrecy, Alpheon? He shrugs. She knows of the abyss already. What's a little bit more? Now that you're up to speed, we can discuss more important matters, like the whatever's clinging to you, Leatrice. You can see the siren's mark on her? I do. It looks like a stain. Does it hurt? It made me feel like I was outside my own body. That's more dangerous than it sounds. Anything I can do to help? Wow. Okay. Oh my god. I guess before I was just building a general approval, but now I can just have romance options. Oh fuck. Now I mean, I've been full on romancing Silas at this point then. And I haven't been really romancing Marinee. Interesting. Now I know. Okay, it's good to know that before it was just general approval, and now I'm actually getting to the part where I can actually do like romantic choices. Alright, so I guess this is a decision. I've been doing romantic stuff with Silas, but do I want to continue that, or do I want to go back on track with Marinee, or change direction for Alpheon? You know what? I started with Silas. I should finish with Silas, because I do like Silas. And I already know I'm going to replay this game in the future. So, you know what? No buy panic here. Not going to let it take over. We're gonna be dedicated. So I'm going to say being here helps. That's grand, responds Alpheon. Everything is so intense. The smell, the noise, that it keeps me in the here and now. A lute with a snap string is lying on one of the sofas in the corner. Alpheon sits down and you do the same. Why have the other patrons not noticed us? Asks Marinee. I wonder, responds Alpheon. His eyes glow at the depths of the abyss for a moment. A telltale sign of the compulsion is placed on the entire tavern. Satisfied by his answer, Marinee sits as well. Tell me what you know. You recount the horrific nightmares, the animated shadows of those affected, and describe the creature behind it all, a winged monster with a crown of teeth. The dockmaster called it a siren, but from your description, it sounds like an abomination. One that wanted a name. Alphion begins mumbling. Not a person, yet a creature of blood and shadows nevertheless. Its awakening barely predates mine. His pursed lips move from side to side. I feel like I'm missing something. Something? We know remarkably little of this creature in the first place. I wonder if our geriatric admiral could be of any help. Somehow I don't picture her as the kind to pay attention to legends. Leetress, do you want me to do something about that stain, by the way? I could try to remove it if you let me peek inside your thoughts. Oh! Interesting. I'm curious enough to try it. Do you remember when I balanced your humors a little bit all those nights ago? This will feel similar. I will see your past skin, muscles, and bones, peel the stain away to restore the sanctity of the soul underneath. His irises return to their original color, violet, just like yours. You see yourself mirrored in his eyes. I will have to touch you. He cups your face with both hands. After taking a deep breath, he closes his eyes. Allow me. Your chest constricts until your breath is forcefully taken away, but you don't need to breathe. You're a flower bud exploding in bloom, burying yourself in front of him. Ugh, I don't like that wording. He can take in everything. What you have seen, what you have thought, what you have done, what you have felt. Oh, no, no, no. Your thoughts are yours and yours alone. I won't take her around. Where are we? In your head. I ask your consciousness to allow me in. He moves his hand and shows it to you. It's coated with a glossy liquid. What is that? This is how I see Sherry. I don't even know how to pronounce this monster's name. I'm going to just call it Sherry, okay? This is how I see Sherry's stain on you. It doesn't have a proper form, you see, since it's of the mind. You need to give it a shape. Its presence is persistent like a thick resin. It's light and innocent like feathered wings. It's noxious like tendrils filled with poison. I'm going to say light and innocent because that thing is had so many questions. The little kid on his hand turns into a handful of feathers that spill out in the air. That should make the job easier. His hands reach into the nothingness and rip a handful of feathers. I feel better already. Good. His eyes glow with power. His scorching gaze falls on the remaining feathers dancing all around you. Ignited by his command, they turn into ash and burn into smoke. There. It's gone. You feel lighter. More you. Thank you. Will I ever be able to do what you just did? Certainly. In the future. Now, shall we go back? He snaps his fingers. The smell of wine and smoked meats fill your nose. You're sitting in the corner of the rows with Alphion's hands on your cheeks. His touch lingers as he leans away. With a jingle of her jewelry, Marinette peers into your eyes. Did it work? How dare you doubt me, responds Alphion. It's gone. Now that you feel better, tell me. The dead that still cling to you demand swift action. What is it that you tend to do? Oh! No! I'm not strong enough? Oh no! Because I didn't focus on Enthrall because I thought that was a weird power. Marinette's in the hall's best ever to see the monster gone. No, I don't want to kill it. I gave it a name. But I have no other choice. This is bullshit. No, it's not. I knew my choices would actually have consequences, but damn. I definitely want to focus on Enthrall last time. I was like, I don't feel right to control people's minds. And now I'm like, fuck. I wish I could control people's minds. God dang it. Also, I haven't been given more thingies to up things, by the way, except for once. I got 1 point at one point to add it to Enthrall Mind. BS. That is correct. Does that mean do with the siren as you see fit? Fuck! I don't want to do that. Her Indagatrix Emerita persona takes over. Her shoulders straighten, her eyes turn steely, and her smile turns polite and political. As much as I would like to capture the siren and have her study, the decision will fall on the council. That is no pet mortals can tame. Duly noted. I pray they will respect the dockmaster's wishes and not unfurl the sails of our vessel. A legion of mages defeating a monster just off the shore sounds exactly the kind of spectacle my next song needs to depict. Alphion, please! Spectacle? Sails rumbling in the wind, magic flying in every direction, tumultuous waves. I feel inspired already, says Alpheon. You have decided your course of action, but will it result in success? After some more talking, Alpheon excuses himself to his quarters. The lute string he broke isn't going to repair itself. Before the innkeeper can hound you about a possible order, you leave the establishment. I still find it hard to believe that minstrel an envoy, said Marinette. If he ever writes that song, it'll be a mockery of the halls and of me, I know it. She scoffs. How could someone destined for greatness squander his gifts like that? It's what he wants to do. You dislike him. Why don't you tell him instead of me? You sound just like Autry. You dislike him. I find him infuriating. Had I his gifts, his beguiling magic, trust me, I would not sit idle. She steals a glance at the Citadel. Tell me, does Admiral Autry share the same flippant attitude as the minstrel? She is almost his opposite, a martyr for the people even now. I see excess in both of them. Around you, the air rumbles with the echo of the bells. I must return to the halls. I trust I will see you tomorrow. Take care, Marinette. You return to your room in the refrain, to your personal sanctuary. We'll worry about Silas. You hope she spent the day resting given her injury, but you know yours is wishful thinking. You drift asleep into the dreamless void that always welcomes you, warm and comforting like the womb. The sun will never reach the depths of despair, of abandonment, of grief, of solitude. The seabed, you mean? Before the time of mortals, it took a different shape. What did you, the abyss? Fear not your primeval kin. My kin, must I not? Wait, is that monster an envoy? I have so many questions. See, this is why I decided to make this a whole goddamn week, because, like, what do you mean I'm supposed to only play this once a week? No way. Alright, anyway, the first light of morning steals you from the ancient darkness of the abyss. That monster is our kin? How else could it have used the shadows to spread its nightmares? Abyssal or not, it puts everyone in peril. Ships, sailors, islanders, how long until the nightmares spread to the rest of the city? Silas waiting for you by the gates of the guest house. Morning! The bandage around her arm is loose. She notices you looking at it and adjusts it. Does it still hurt? Give it a couple days and it won't, says Silas. You still haven't told me about how you injure yourself. It's a secret. Someone clears their throat behind you. It's Ascanio. A letter for you. He hands you an envelope sealed with Marinette's emblem on richly pigmented blue wax. Who is it from? The miss? You break the seal and read the message out loud. My dearest Leatrice, the council convened yesterday in an extraordinary assembly upon my return. It is decided the halls of elevation will send the finest mages to converge upon the monster and slay it. It will be a display of magic so brilliant it shall burn in your mind forevermore. Come to Ferelia to witness it. What happened to secrecy? The Hall's vessel will depart from and return to La Marina. A futile attempt at concealing the voyage, if you ask me. At least they're trying, says Silas. If you don't require anything else of me, I will be going, said Ascanio. Enjoy your day. Ascanio bows to you both and returns to the shaded foyer of the refrain. Silas huddles closer to you and covers her mouth with a hand. What's his deal? He's a mage, but he delivers letters for the mess? Asked Silas. He might have done it as a favor. To her or to you? To me, of course. I was the first person he told of his dead wife and child. Apparently. This is a good question. Silas looks at the invitation still in your hands. Are you going to, how did she phrase it, watch her display of magic most brilliant? I don't think so. Sweet. Want to do something fun instead? I've heard that a wandering troupe is practicing for the festival and they don't hound you for coin during the rehearsals. The distraction might be just what you need. You suggesting something where we need to stay seated? I'm injured! I can't move around too much. Let's go see these rehearsals then, responds Leatrice. She takes you to the rest, now littered with planks. Tents have been planted around the outskirts and people come and go, clad in colorful costumes. You get comfortable under the shade of a tree. May the ladies rain punishment over my accursed house, flood their foundations, rive their walls. Flood their foundations? Isn't that too literal? Says the actor. You come up with a better line then, responds the actress. Now I understand why they don't make you pay for it, says Silas. The rehearsals are chaotic, pure and simple. With only a loose canvas to follow, the actors improvise their lines to various degrees of success, and their discussions on how to improve them take minutes. I'm sorry. What for? Silas slumps over the tree. I'll never be able to give you nice things like the mist does. Aw, Silas. I don't expect things from you. Neither do I from Marinette. Don't compare yourself to her. The corner of her mouth curls into a smile. A dissonant melody is plucked from a lute. My ears! It's just Silas needs to change Silas needs to change the topic. I was doing so well. And then the final hour, I'm mispronouncing Silas's name. You know what? I've had enough of this. Let's bounce. Where to? The Rose? It's the only place that lets me keep a tab open. A small crowd is gathered in front of the Rose, mostly sailors and some merchants. What's going on? Asks Silas. Silas takes you aside to listen to their chatter. I saw the galleass and I thought, what are the Dagadi doing here? But then whoosh, a gigantic ball of water rises next to it. Magic? That's right. So me and my mate turn around and return to La Marina, and what do we see? Those blue coats swarming the place. You exchange a glance to see this. Word got out. Old Bastion might be in danger. But what did they go out to sea for? Well, rumor has it that the Dogmaster himself requested their aid. There was a siren north of the isle, and guess what the little mages were talking about? But is it dead? Sure as day it is. Did you not hear their horn blaring in victory? Darkness swells inside of you. Behold the ancient horror, unwanted even in death. Slain because of your intercession. You have appeased one of the souls clinging to you. It forsook its body and life, and now it offers itself to you. Devour it, feast on it, and grow stronger. Okay, obviously putting it in enthralled mind because I needs it. There we go. When you open your eyes, you're barely standing. Don't worry, I got you, says Silas. With her arm wrapped around your shoulder, Silas is keeping you upright. You all right? I'll survive. She brushes your hair behind your ear before letting go. Luckily, I caught you with my good arm. It was just a dizzy spell. Nothing to worry about, responds Leatrice. Something to eat might help. She pushes past the crowd and into the tavern. You steel yourself and follow her. You know what I just realized? I chose the most probably complicated relationship. Not only because she's super religious, but also because she hates magic. So, like, how am I supposed to tell her that I just consumed a soul? Willingly. The soul was willing, wanted to be consumed. But, like, how do I explain to her that I just consumed a soul? Like, I wouldn't want to be in a relationship that I couldn't be myself and lie in. So, like, this is gonna be so interesting. The story arc's gonna be a choice. But anyway, let's continue. She pushes past the crowd and into the tavern. You steel yourself and follow her. With the siren gone, I won't have any nightmares again, right? Right. Sweet. Silas has no idea what just happened to you. You gained power, became stronger, but it was not through your own actions. Wrong. You direct the halls to the red. Yeah, we did a lot of work. This wouldn't have happened if we didn't, like, try. Sure, we didn't slay the thing ourselves, but, like, we had a part in it. I'm not gonna feel ashamed. It was your doing, your shrewdness that brought an end to the monster. How much do you have on you? Asked Silas. 3 iron pieces. If I chip in, we can have a really nice dinner. You order something to eat and spend the afternoon in the tavern with Silas, who teaches you how to throw darts despite her injury. Merciful are your hands that do not exact pain and instead gift the pleasure of rest. Is this about Sherry? Do not stay your hand when the prodigal one falls under its shadow. May their fear be thick with regret and swollen with tears. The prodigal one again. Morning comes. Just as you take the last sip of your tisane, someone knocks on your door in a familiar way. Letter for you, goes Silas. You open the door to Silas's grin. She shows you an envelope with Marine's emblem on a rich blue wax. I snatched it from Grumpy Face. Is it from the miss? That's right. What do you usually do with letters? Do you keep the wax? Can I have it? Sure. It's going to fetch a nice price. You break the seal and read the message out loud. My dear Leatrice, as Indagatrix Emerita and instigator of the Hall's involvement with the siren, I am fortunately taken for the day. Oh no. The next part is for your eyes only. Alas, I must starve myself of your companionship. Oh, how I crave to thread my fingers through your tresses. How I wish you revealed to me the secrets of your magic. I'm such an asshole. I'm such a player. I'm such a dick. Oh my god. I'm stringing along these two women. But to be fair, I have not chosen any heart options with Marine. She's in love with me all on her own. Be trying to convince myself I'm not the problem. I will say though, it does feel like Marine is kind of only interested in me because of my magic and because of who I am. Which is like the polar opposite of Silas, who likes me but is not interested in who I really am because of the magic part. But Narame likes me because of it, and I'm just like, I'm in trouble. I'm in such trouble. Anyway, let me continue. I gotta find a good stopping point, eventually. Anyway, Silas goes. We have a day without the bat. Want to do anything fun? I haven't been to the temple in a long time. I'm not sure you'd call going there fun. Why not? Don't you know that the Lady of Dusk has a wicked sense of humor? I'll come with you. Mornings are always a riot in Carolis. You could close your eyes and know where you are from sounds alone. The splashes of water fountains and the giggling of children surround shrines, and various smells guide you from bakeries to workshops. Silas stretches her arm as she walks, without wincing. Are you ever going to tell me how you managed to injure yourself? Maybe, goes Silas. Maybe now? Asks Leatrice. She simply smiles. So that's a no. As soon as you step inside the temple, Brother Mattia welcomes you. Leatrice, long time no see. Don't make me feel guilty. That's not my intention at all. Do you feel better today? Ah, yes. Why, did something happen? Asked Silas. His smile feels forced. The rays of the fake sun are sharp like daggers. Deep they burrow under stone and tears, where lives are exchanged with a venom-filled kiss. You have heard that whisper before. Why did it slither into your ears now? It would feel wrong to involve you. It's the job of us priests to shoulder your burdens, not to add more. Rules are made to be broken, aren't they? Asked Silas. It doesn't take much convincing for him to show you a scroll inked with names. They are all epitaphs. The corpses from the countryside keep piling up. I will look into it. I was simply tied up in other matters in the past days. I'm glad, responds Brother Mattia. So you say, brother, but you're still frowning. There might be something else. I am doubtful, you could say, of the attentions of some of the priests that have recently joined our cohort. He walks closer and lowers his voice to a whisper. When I wanted to offer my life to the Lady of Dawn, I had much to learn. It took me years before I was able to stand on the dais and preach her word without hesitation. And these newer priests? Asked Leatrice. I have never seen them pray or counsel or even share our food with those in need. His eyes glance at Silas's lips right where the scar splits them. They're ordained behind closed doors, and I am expected to accept them without question. The last time I saw you, Leatrice, I was short with you. I apologize. Despite my insistence, my concerns were not brought up to the assembly, and that made me awful to be around. More priests aren't a bad thing, are they? Asked Silas. Untrained ones risk doing more harm than good, responds Brother Mattia. The shadows around Silas's face have congealed. Swallowed by darkness, her eyes stand out to you. They are devoid of emotion. Brother Mattia seems to have noticed her change of demeanor as well, because he is quick to dismiss his concerns. That's not important at the moment, not in the wake of this. He lifts the collection of funerary notices. I know someone who can help. I'll arrange for a meeting tomorrow. Come to the temple in the morning, and I'll be able to tell you more. Will do, responds Leatrice. Brother Mattia traces the symbol of dawn in the air and parts ways with you. Once Silas bids you farewell, you walk to your usual table, ready to make a small difference for the people of Carolis. And with that, this is the perfect place to stop because our ad's starting any second now. I'm gonna BRB for the ad break. When we come back, we'll do a little bit more. Thank you
Remember
for the
to stay
hydrate, Sinister. I'm going to hydrate now, and I'll hydrate when we get back. Sippies. And yeah, we'll play a little bit more, and then we'll probably call it for the day. Sadly, because I have to call parents and do errands. But anyway, ad break's already going. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Love you, miss you. See you soon. Welcome back, Simps. I missed you. Let me take some extra sippies. Thank you again, Sinister, for the hydrate. So that was the last ad break for today. Awesome. So let's continue. I'm glad we're finally going to start on helping those, like, people from that, like, what was it, House of Rizzo? So I'm glad we got to do both. So I was worried that we only could save one. So it's going to be great. You wake up as usual, just as the sun's first rays pierce through the darkness. What's better than a hot bath to start the day? Silas and Marinette are waiting for you outside the refrain's gates. Good morning. I thought you had super important secret stuff to do for the halls, miss. What are you doing here? Asked Silas. It takes Marinette a good amount of self-control to keep her expression blank. With my duties to the halls fulfilled, I can now focus on handling my late mentor's business. Which is... Marinette throws a glance at you. Right, right. I had almost forgotten about fate beckoning Leatrice, destiny, and all those grand things. Silas claps her hands together with gusto. So, shall we go? Where to, asked Marinette. Our presence is required at the Temple of Dawn. Could we stop by the Hand of Piety on the way? Can't all those people stop dying for a moment? I have a trinket to buy. Goes Silas. Silas's imitation is so uncannily true to the source it gives you whiplash. Excuse me? It dawns on you that you did not tell Marinette about the peasant deaths that have been occurring in the city. Silas, she doesn't know yet. She could have asked, goes Silas. You tell Marinette all you know, which is remarkably little. A large number of peasants from the land of House Rizzo have died in similar circumstances and illness, it seems. They will all die, squeezed for their sweat, prized like the donkey is for its work, not for its being. Had you told me that, I would not have requested such an insensitive detour. Is that remorse I'm hearing? Asked Silas. Silas, y'all, you need to chill. See, this makes me not want to, like, be with both of you. Like, there's no need to be nasty. You glare at them both, nipping the vicious exchange in the bud. People in rags form a line in the corner of the temple, probably for the soup served in the morning and before sunset. The poor are fed by the very false sun you are meant to drown in blood. Leatrice, you're earlier than I expected, said Brother Mattia. My new place is close to the temple. How does the saying go? The early bird catches the worm. Did you manage to find someone else? Is that a problem? Did you manage to find someone who could help? Asked Leatrice. In one of the side streets that link Autry's Rest to the western gates, there's an old surgery with a saw on the signpost. It appears closed, but my friend Lapo still receives patients every once in a while. Tell him I sent you. Silas, would you know where his surgery is? No, but there aren't many streets that go from the rest to the western gates. We'll find it. Is there anything we need to know before visiting this acquaintance of yours? Asked Marinette. Brother Mattia's gaze roams the mural on the wall, the one that depicts the great feats of the goddess and her dawn aspect. The Lady of Dawn's greatest achievements was stealing the stars from the night, so that they could shine upon us all and show us the way. You wait for the story to continue, but Brother Mattia simply smiles. Why not speak plainly, brother? Asked Marinette. Are you saying the end justify the means? He smiles again. We'll find Lapo and pick his brain, says Silas. May the Lady of Dawn light your path and embolden your hearts. The light stings your eyes once you step outside. Follow the surgeons of the city. We're going to one not currently practicing. Why? I have no idea, said Silas. Baby boy, what's wrong? Kai's like prowling the apartment, crying. What's the matter, Bubba? Yeah? Here, I'll give you a treat after stream. How does that sound? Does that sound good? We'll do treatos. The others might not want to put their profession in jeopardy. I don't know what this Lapo expects us to do, but it might be dangerous, illegal, or both. Marinette sighs. Lead the way. The market in the rest is particularly busy in the morning. Small confections and wine are sold for breakfast, along with the usual assortment of brooms, buckets, and other household essentials. Autry's statue lowers over the crowd with her severe frown. You wonder how she feels having a square to her name. You can't imagine her being pleased about it. The winding streets that leave the rest open up onto small vegetable gardens or animal pens. There! Marinette points at the hanging sign carved to resemble a saw crossed with a pair of scissors. The windows of the surgery are obscured by curtains. A peculiar smell invades your nose once you walk closer. Sickly sweet, like rotten blood. That priest keeps some interesting company, said Silas. You knock on the door. Someone curses loudly. A chair scrapes along the floor, and a few minutes later, an eye appears in the peephole. What? Good morning. I'm sent here by Brother Mattia. The peephole closes suddenly. You hear the scraping of a metal hatch on the other side of the door, and more colorful cursing. Is he a surgeon or a sailor? Asked Marinette. We have met sailors. None of them swore this much. After several moments, the door cracks open. Come in. I don't have all day. You exchange a look with the others and walk inside. An array of tools and vials and a bleached skull are strewn over the shelves on the wall next to a drawing of a dissected body. The practice is sparsely furnished and surprisingly clean, given the smell. Mattia never mentioned the halls being involved, said Lapo. Lapo is a stocky man with a strong nose and the first signs of aging around his eyes. His right arm. The halls aren't involved yet. I am, responds Marinette. Ah, you're one of those people that use semantics to make the lives of everybody else difficult and yours easier. I like this guy. Semantics, asked Silas. Whisper to Silas what it means. The meaning of words. Thanks. When he sits on the table, the knot tied at the end of his right sleeve falls limply onto his legs. So, how much do you know about what's going on? I am appalled at the lack of introductions, credentials, and reasons to trust you, responds Marinette. Lapo, surgeon. He raises his stomach concealed by his shirt. Was a surgeon before you ask. A big grin appears on Silas's face. She likes him already, you suspect. I can't imagine you being friends with Brother Mattia. Says the urchin who walks in with a mist from the halls. I thought you were here for a reason, not for idle chit-chat. Idle chit-chat is necessary to build rapport. With the patient, which you are not. Let's try this again. What do you know about this malady that is killing peasants left and right? Not much. They all live in the lands of House Rizzo or around there. When they reach the city, for one reason or another, they collapse. You have written enough funerary notices and consoled enough grieving relatives to know what the disease looks like. They cough or throw up blood, boil with fever, and sweat profusely right until they pass away. Correct. Nobody has studied this new ailment yet or come up with a name for it, and I'll tell you why. Nobody cares enough. What do you mean nobody cares? Asked Silas. The peasants are country bumpkins, little to no family here, and having a sick person in the house is plenty of work. You don't want to get out and find more. Let us name it then. Done. Death by blood. Fine. Now to the important question. What is the origin of the disease? You're the surgeon, not me, says Silas. I could spew nonsense and have it sound reasonable, but the truth is, I won't know until I rummage a bit. Rummage, says Marinette. You and I both want to know what kills them. Get me a fresh corpse that died by blood, and I'll learn it soon enough. Honestly, reasonable. Give him a body. We'll see what we can do. Marinette and Silas don't seem thrilled by the idea, but they do not disagree with you, at least for the moment. Look at me! I'm like, let's go. Let's go dig up a dead body. The fresher, the better. Okay, I guess not dig. Pilfer? It's gonna be interesting. What happens after, you're done, asked Silas. I'll return the body to Dusk, so that her little priest can take care of it. She sighs in relief. As soon as you're outside, Marinette shakes her head. I hope you realize what you promised him you'd do. Find an affected peasant who just died, bring their corpse here without alerting the guards, and leave it in the singular, non-dominant hand of that surgeon. When you put it like that, goes Silas. How will you even find people dying in the streets? Asked Marinette. By roaming them? This game can be so unserious sometimes. You expect your search to be fruitful, aimless as you are. The streets are empty, while the sun is at its zenith, and the people gather around wells or in taverns. We need to find a better strategy for tomorrow, like going from outhouse to outhouse. This sounds disgusting, said Marinette. Smart, you mean. When someone doesn't feel great, where do you think they go? After hours of fruitless roaming, Silas and Marinette bid you farewell by the guest house gates, but it's too early to retire for the evening. The cobblestones around the refrain, polished by thousands of feet, are almost slippery. You follow the shiny trail until a boisterous laugh catches your attention, followed by chirps. Was that? You let the sound guide you. After a sharp turn, you step into a small square with a well in the middle. Alpheon is sitting on the well's lip, his lute forgotten on the ground. A band of children is gathered around him. Which witch stitch up the stitch with the twitching witch's itch? But that doesn't make any sense, says the serious child. It doesn't have to, responds the smiling child. I'll try. Which witch itch? It's stitched up, goes the snotty child. I'll say it again slowly, responds Alpheon. Which witch stitched up the stitch with the twitching witch's itch? It's too long, goes the serious child. How about this then? She sells by the shore. She sells by the seashore, goes the snotty child. Almost. I can't believe this game's making me read this out loud all the time. She sells by the seashore. The sells is hard, goes the smiling child. You're not sure what you were expecting, but practicing tongue twisters wasn't it. His eyes meet yours and he smiles. Look who's here. Who is it? Asks the smiling child. A friend of mine. Are you the one that sells seashells by the seashore? Play along. I am. Unfortunately, the prettiest ones are already gone. I believe the prettiest of them all is not for sale. And which one is that? Asks Leatrice. I like the ones with rainbows inside, goes the smiling child. Alphaeon chuckles. Here's another easy one. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? You said it was easy, goes the serious child. It's easy for me, says Alphaeon. How much wood would a woodchuck... No! Alphaeon pats the seat next to him. Long time no see. I could say the same. What are you doing here? Asks Leatrice. He lowers his voice. I was roped into watching these children by a rather distressed couple. They dumped them on the closest available adult, which happened to be me, and ran off doing the ladies know what. How much wood would a woodchucker chuck? Goes the smiling child. It's woodchuck, goes Alphaeon. They giggle. I'm afraid I'm duty bound here until they come back. Yeah, I can keep you well, no. I want to hang out, but I need to be diligent and be good. I'll see you around then. Miss, are you leaving? Asks the smiling child. She sells by the seashore, goes the snotty child. Very nice. You wave at them all and resume your exploration of the heart. Wrapped in silks or clad in rags, it matters not to the abyss. All mortals return to its embrace, be they venerable or unnamed, exalted in life or despised in death. All return? Asked Leatrice. The false sun preaches an insidious lie, that of heavens, that of hells. Are you saying the abyss embraces all? And I think that is the perfect place to stop. So let me save. That's not a save. Save. Save over this. Perfect. We'll save here. I will be back Tuesday for more Sigh of the Abyss. Hopefully we can get through a lot more. I might even play longer because, like, I'm just having so much fun with this game. So we'll see how far we get this week. And then we might just go back to Sundays being, like, cozy. And then weekdays we'll do The Witcher, maybe. So, it'll be fun. Thank you, Sinister, for being here. Thank you for being a wonderful viewer, wonderful person. I couldn't do this without you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Stay happy. I'll see y'all Tuesday. And, yeah. It's going to be great. I'm not going to raid out because I am just going to chill and play games today and just relax. So until next time, and I'll talk to you later. Bye now.